Hey, what's going on, fight fans? I'm here with two very special brothers of mine, Unrivaled Boxing and Tommy Temper. What's going on, my fellas from the UK? What's good, baby?
What's good, Jedi?
All right, what's going on, Unrivaled?
Big up, man. Big up. How's it going?
No doubt, no doubt. Everything is great, man. I had to summon you two because you two are very knowledgeable in your boxing, and of course, I needed aficionados in this motherfucker, and that's exactly what I've gotten. And I thank you very much for your time. Now, you guys have to really, please give me your insight. I really need you guys to give me the insight, your insight as to how you feel about Deontay Wilder taking a second retarded fight against fucking Luis Ortiz when we know goddamn well we have Kawanakis, we have a Jogbars, we have fucking whites, especially who's ranked, man. And the first one I'm gonna let Unrivaled let us know how you feel, my brother.
I'm fed up with the heavyweight division at the top of it completely, to be honest. Um, I know that there's Kevnaski, there's Jagba, there's White, hell, there's Fury, there's, let's be real, there's Pavek and there's Parker. Um, there's a lot of guys. Lewis Ortiz a rematch. I've no interest.
Right.
Bored. Fed up. I don't think there's any point in the fight. The biggest problem with it is that they've announced Ortiz and then Kovnaski,
Right.
and then a mandatory, which means we're in what, the middle of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So that's about what, 18 months total. Yeah,
Okay. That's crazy.
which brings us into 2021 before Joshua's name is even mentioned.
Right.
And
Right.
also, if Fury isn't that mandatory, it means Fury will happen before Joshua too. So we're rough. It just lets us know right now that we are a minimum of about a year and a half to 2 years away from undisputed. And people think, oh yeah, let's get this Ortiz fight. No, fuck Lewis Ortiz. He's 50.
Right. Right.
Even if he's not, in his
Right.
last two fights, he's looked it. He's looked it. He's past it now. He had his best opportunity against Wilder. Sure, he competed well, but eventually he got stopped.
Yep. I hear that.
I just, mate, I just can't be arsed. Like, just fuck everybody who enables these motherfuckers to stop, us getting what we want to see. Like, mate, I'm relatively young, right? I'm 26 years old. I've been watching boxing since I was very young, though, right? I've been watching since 2001,
Right.
2002, and that means that I haven't seen two heavyweights unify the division to become undisputed, because the last time it happened was in 1999
Right.
with Lewis and Holyfield when they unified to
Exactly.
create the undisputed
Exactly.
title at that time. So I haven't seen that happen, and there's a generation of boxing fans who hasn't seen that happen, and these guys are enabling it. And then other people on that side, what they're saying is, do you know what? Yeah, let's get Lewis Ortiz. Fuck Joshua. Joshua won't fight him when he's offered him 100 million. I'm not Joshua fanboy, but he's offered the man 100 million. Weren't they complaining not too long ago that he was offered 50 million?
Right. Well,
Exactly.
I wanna ask Tommy as well as yourself this question. After Tommy, we got piece to BG London. What's going on, BG London? He's got a question. He says, "What about White and Fury not accepting the fight, bro? Keep the energy." Anybody want to break that down?
White and Fury.
Wait,
I, I personally think that White was lowballed, but that's my opinion. Regards to Fury, I don't think he was ever serious about taking that fight,
Mm,
but that's my opinion.
okay. Unrivaled?
Dillian said that he deserved more money, and I'll be honest with you, I don't give a shit about the money situation. But if every other person that you're offering money to is
Right.
getting offered more money than you were offered when you're actually the biggest draw of all the names,
Right.
yeah, you've got a right to complain. That
Right.
that sounds fair enough to me.
Exactly. Exactly. This is what I don't understand about some fight fans of Wilder. Like, he can ask for all this money he can fucking put scrimmages on everything. But when it comes to the other fighters knowing what they're worth, they can't stand in line and ask for more money either. What is this? You know, that's exactly what confuses me. Hey, Tommy, man, tell me how you feel about this fight, brother.
I'm bored with it because at the end of the day, I don't think any of the top three should be doing any rematches until they've all fought each other. And that's the way I look at it.
Right, right, right. I feel you. I feel you 100%, man. Me personally, I see it like this. The reason why Fury didn't take the fight with Wilder is simply because Wilder is fucking around, and the real money is with the guy who's holding three straps and has just fucking made his own fucking promoter $1 billion deal. Okay, this is a fighter to invest in. So basically, Fury said, "You know what, Wilder? You know what, Wilder? You're taking too fucking long, Wilder. I'm gonna go and fight Joshua. I've already fought you. I've beaten you, you dosser." That's exactly what he did, and I couldn't agree with him more. So basically, he's gonna go and he's gonna get, most likely after Ruiz, it'll probably be Fury and fucking and Joshua, and I wouldn't be surprised about that. And if it is, then now you know why Fury didn't fight fucking stalling ass fucking left back fucking Wilder. Now, as for White, I have to agree with Tommy and I have to agree with Unrivaled. He's just asking for more money that he's deserved. I mean, I for one was upset at him because he kept calling uh Joshua out, and he already got fucking sparked by Joshua. So why would you want to fight Joshua again? That would Joshua fighting him again would have been a retarded fight like this one, like with Wilder and fucking Ortiz. Makes no sense, right? So the best thing I wanted Wilder to do, since he's in contention and he's number one for the WBC and other fucking, why don't you just go for fucking Wilder? That's who you're supposed to. This is why they keep ignoring Wilder. This is why they keep going over Wilder and allow Wilder to do whatever the fuck he wants, because White is not screaming loud enough to tell these motherfuckers, "Hey, I'm in contention. Where's my fucking shot?" You see? But the moment that he went for the same person in his stable like an idiot, this is exactly why they passed him over. What do you guys think about that?
Go ahead.
I didn't quite catch the end of it.
No, I said since he didn't kick and scream the way he's doing with Joshua, the way he should have with Wilder, this is exactly why the WBC and Wilder continue to let Wilder pick and choose and go over his fucking mandatories like White. So what do you think about that?
I think Dillian has made quite a bit of noise recently, but it took him a year to start complaining, didn't it? Over a year to start complaining and bitching.
Yeah.
Like, he's been in that number one position for about 18 months now, which is, I think that's the longest a guy's been ranked in the WBC number one spot without like being made a mandatory. In the history of the WBC rankings, a heavyweight anyway. I know it happened during the late 60s,
Right.
at super welterweight, but since then, no. So it's one of these things that makes me just think. Obviously, I don't agree with any of the shit that's been going on with the WBC over at least the last I don't know, half a century. Like, exactly. The WBC is just fucked, but so are all the governing bodies. But this whole fucking Dillian White shit, there is no reason for him to fight Joshua, in my opinion, and I'll tell you why. I think the biggest fight out there right now for Dillian White is Wilder, and it's just because of one simple thing: the American money and the British money combo. Because if Dillian fights against Wilder, that's probably going to be on American pay-per-view. Probably.
Yes, probably. I agree.
But on top of that, it's going to be on UK pay-per-view. That will actually be cross pay-per-view.
Double money for motherfuckers. I agree with you, Tommy. What do you think?
I'm going to play devil's advocate with this. I reckon the reason why, in my opinion, Wilder's being protected is because if he loses, the American audience and fan base is gone. They just won't have the interest in the heavyweight division anymore because they won't have a horse in the race.
Right.
And AJ is just breaking into the American market. If he breaks in successfully, then it won't be really that big a deal, in my opinion, if Wilder loses, because there'll be someone else to look at, even though he's not American.
Right. Right. I have to agree with you. And I tell you right now, you know, boxing is boxing, whether it comes from Japan, whether it comes from UK, it doesn't matter. Boxing is fucking boxing. And I just got to tell you like this, man. You guys from across yonder, my brothers, and everyone else from across the world, and everyone who follows hashtag come back to boxing would have to agree when I say this, okay? And I don't care whose ass is going to get irritated here. This is just pure fact. Deontay Wilder is not fighting like an American heavyweight champion. Okay. Now, you guys, if I can tell you guys down the panel, name an American heavyweight champion that went into other people's territories and defended, or went into other people's territories to gain the title, or actually fought all of their mandatories instead of having more handfuls of voluntaries. I mean, come on, guys. I'm an American myself. I've been watching boxing since '84. This is why I say Deontay Wilder is not my fucking champion. He is not fighting like an American heavyweight champion. American heavyweight champions do not do this. The hardest fight to make, and it only took 8 months, was Tyson Lewis. That was it. And it took 8 months and it was done. Now, do you guys agree with me or not that Wilder is not fighting like an American heavyweight champion that you have seen?
I agree. And it's not just that I have seen, I've studied like American heavyweights extensively. Like I know the lineage off of the top of my head pretty much. You guys literally have 91% of the lineal line. You know that, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
The, nearly every the guy, nearly every heavyweight undisputed champion has been from America over a century, pretty much. Outside of the reigns of Klitschko and Ingemar Johansson and so on.
Right.
It's let's just put it this way for me, man. I'd go as far as to say Deontay Wilder's. I think he's a great fighter, right? I do. I think he has one tremendous skill, and that's disguising the most dangerous weapon in the
Right.
game. But outside of that, the dude is the biggest piss take I've seen. He's got to be the biggest diva out of any American champion in the history of the sport, and that says a lot because there's
Yes.
been some fucking divas.
Yeah.
There really has been some divas, and people can say whatever. Like, I don't want to shit on anybody's names. I'm not going to bring anyone up as a diva because people will be like, "Oh, he's just calling him a diva." But some people were divas. They were. Like, Gene Tunney was a diva. I'll say
Right.
his fucking name.
Right.
Jack Dempsey was also a diva.
Right.
And Wilder makes those guys look like, look, I don't even know, man. I
Yeah.
don't even know.
Well, BG London, BG London says the only thing Wilder's doing wrong is not fighting AJ. I have to disagree. I have to disagree. It's no hate towards Wilder. Isn't like I said before. I love my American heavyweight champions, but Wilder's not fighting like one. The thing that was see, like taking this fight here, this is something he should not be doing. Okay, he should not be doing this. What he should be doing is fighting White. That's what he should be doing. Because the moment he fights White and he captures the UK's attention, the UK, okay, as well as the American base, are going to want to tell the truth and say, you know what, we want this fight already, but this is not going to happen. You know what I mean? And yes, I understand in this present time, but in this present time, AJ's doing everything wrong. You see, look, this is what I want to weigh out as well. How is it that people are saying that Wilder is fighting better than AJ just because he has what 41 wins? His toughest fights came at number 39 and number 40. Okay, which was fucking Luis Ortiz and fucking Fury. After that, of course, look what happened. You know, so it just gets to the point that his hardest fights are just two fucking fights. Meanwhile, everybody's talking shit about Joshua fighting an old man in Klitschko, but Klitschko held down the division for 11 years and was the man to fucking beat besides fucking Fury after Fury defeated himself doing stupid shit. So my question here to you guys is how exactly is Wilder fighting correctly if Wilder's not really recognized the same way Anthony Joshua is being praised and recognized because of the way Anthony Joshua is fighting correctly. Anthony Joshua got his first strap and his 15th win against Charles Martin. Why is it that you guys are talking so much shit, flapping your gums about, oh, but he just fought Charles Martin? Why didn't Wilder fight Martin? I mean, Martin. Why didn't Wilder fight Klitschko? You see, this is exactly what I called a chastity of hate. You guys got this shit wrapped around you so tight because your man didn't fight correctly. Your man is not fighting correctly. Anthony Joshua's fighting correctly. Every other heavyweight out there is fighting correctly. Why is it that Wilder's avoiding shit going around like if there are roadblocks in his career when there aren't any roadblocks? I mean, he has the most prestigious title, the WBC. Yes, he is a shot caller, but he is allowing Finkel, who don't know shit, who's fucking. Listen, guys, Finkel will never get him $100 million deal ever. You guys need to stop it. This will never happen. This will never happen on Finkel and the Bella side. They will never give him a lucrative deal. The most they probably give him is maybe 15 mil. That's it. Wilder is not marketable because of the way he's fighting. What do you guys think?
I think his fighting is marketable. I think his fighting style is marketable. I think even he himself is highly marketable. I think the people around him haven't promoted him worth salt.
Right.
To be honest, this guy, he didn't really come to prominence in any casual market until the Severn rematch. Remember the memes?
Right.
The memes that were going around. That's when casuals started to take notice of him, but like proper notice. And look, as much as people they give casuals a bit of shit, mate, the truth is they carry this damn sport. Yeah. Without them, we have nothing. We literally just have fucking small hall shows because if they don't get onto somebody's back, there's not enough hardcore fans out there to do pay-per-view. And pay-per-view is where the biggest events have always taken place. And we sit here looking at it like this. If Wilder I personally believe if Wilder stopped fighting in America right now and came over to the UK and he was fighting at 10 p.m. and it wouldn't really matter who his opponent was, he'd do 300 to 500,000 pay-per-views every fight.
Agreed.
I really actually believe that because as much as UK people talk shit on Wilder, UK people are essentially more than 60% of his viewer base right now all over YouTube.
Yeah, and they love Wilder over there. I mean, when he was over there last time to scout a fight, well, supposedly, they showed him a lot of love, and he went and lied and said that they were racist and stuff. You guys were racist and shit. Remember that?
I was up in Belfast at the time. I was in Belfast at the time. I was up at the fight.
Yeah, and they gave him love, right? Right? They gave him nothing but love.
There was a lot of love, and there was a bit of shit. He did get a bit of shit, and you expect that. You expect that anywhere you go. You expect to see like a world champion get shit if it's not his home area.
Right.
Like Mike Tyson received fuck tons of love and hatred when he came to the UK.
Right.
A little bit of hatred, not a fuck ton.
But just but nothing racial, nothing calling him the N-word or anything like that the way he claimed. You know?
I think it was more to do with the rape charges.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was more to do with the rape charges with Tyson. But when I see him Wilder, I didn't see anybody yell out the N-word. I didn't see anybody do any. Like, I met the guy. I shook his hand and they said, "Welcome to Ireland, champ." You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. I'm
fucking. And I seen one fan. I seen one fan, a girl. She was about 15.
Right.
And she was there with her uncle. And she said, "I want to see you fight Anthony Joshua." And he said, "Why is that?" And she said, "Because I want to know what my dad talks about when she says Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield." That's what she said.
Exactly.
And when her grandpa talks about Foreman and Ali, that's what she wants to understand. She wants to understand what greatness is in boxing. That touched me, and it touched him because he actually got a little bit emotional. And he said he'd do everything he can. And I'm being honest here. He'd do everything he can to make that fight happen. And we're now a couple of years away since that's pretty much happened, nearly 2 years from now.
Yeah.
And he made a big fan that day, and he made quite a lot of fans when he came over to Ireland. Yeah. And when he was in England, I didn't actually see him around in England. I know he was there at the Klitschko fight. I was there, but I didn't actually get to see the chap at that time. But you can tell the UK audience, they do actually like him. If they didn't, why the fuck would we spend nearly all of our day talking about him? It can't be down to just hatred. It can't be. I mean, I like him. I think he's a good fucking fighter. But I don't know, man. I don't like the way he's been managed. I don't think the way he's managing himself now. I miss the Wilder who, you know, who fought Fury on 8 months, like out of nowhere.
Right.
They made that fight happen. That fight should have been excessively hard to make. How is that fight so much easier to make when than Joshua? Like, how can you demand? How can you go like 60-40 with you in favor against Fury and do a 330,000 pay-per-view boy rate when you know full well Anthony Joshua and you is going to up that by about 2 to 3 times the pay-per-views? How can you not just go, right, I'll take 40% on that and we'll have a rematch, or I'll take 40 million and then the rematch I'll get 40 million again, win or lose. Like,
Exactly.
and then I get 20 million to fight Brazil. Mate, it came out. How much did he make against Brazil? 10 million max. Some people are disputing that, but 10 million, right?
Yeah.
He would have got $20 million to fight Dominic Brazil.
Look,
20 million. That's fucking ridiculous. I'd take 20 million to fight Dominic Brazil, and every fucking person who's watching right now would take 20 million to fight Dominic Brazil.
Yep. And I just see it like this. BG London asks, do you think Wilder's team is the issue? Tommy, do you think Wilder's team is the issue?
Oh, yeah, but I think it's a bit more complicated than that. I like to draw the distinction between the UK audience and the American audience. Now, who was the last great heavyweight champion? Tyson?
Mm-hmm.
Right, now he was
the last great heavyweight champion?
What do you mean, undisputed? What do you mean, undisputed? The unified?
Well, let's just take Tyson to make it simple, right?
Okay.
Now, he had a bad boy persona. Now,
right.
If you remember watching the interview with Wilder after he sparred with David Haye, that was a different Deontay Wilder. That guy was sweet and genuine, but he didn't sell. The American audience, in my opinion, they need a bad boy to take an interest in, and it's completely the other way around in the UK.
Right.
We don't have to have a bad boy for someone to sell.
Right. It just has to be. It just has to be competitive.
It has to be interesting. You know, they have to be a spectacle, one way or another.
Right.
And most English heavyweights. I mean, you take Nigel Benn, Chris Eubank, McGregor. Help me out here. Who else?
I mean, you've got one of my favorite fighters, Lloyd Hunnigan. You know, you've got guys like that. You know, and
sorry, I missed the question. What are we talking about?
Successful black British fighters.
Bruno, Herbie Hyde, Lloyd Hunnigan.
Yeah, some of those were bad guys. I mean, Herbie Hyde, he definitely had the bad boy persona.
Right.
Yes,
Frank Bruno didn't.
No, Bruno was more of the clean cook kind of guy.
He was like a gentleman comedian.
Yeah, he was. He was. The only person I've ever seen draw the line between being a gentleman and being a comedian and being a bad boy all at the same time was Senior. Chris Eubank Senior. He's a genius, man. He's a fucking genius. That dude's he's pure WWF, isn't he? That dude's a fucking heel. I love him. He's my favorite personality in boxing of all time, and I don't care what anyone says. When you're using words like sartorial elegance and parliamentary procedure, when you're pre-fight talks with fucking Nigel Benn on ITV with 10 million people watching the interview, and you're like, "Can we have some parliamentary procedure?" Even Nigel Benn cracked a smile, man, and he was ready to kill him.
He's got some intellectual jargon, man, in his fucking interviews and speeches and shit whenever he spoke. Definitely, man. You know, but it's just sad here where, you know, how we can just name these guys, right? From your side, we can name guys from my side, and Wilder just doesn't match up to them. They just don't. I mean, you can look, Lloyd Hunnigan and everyone else that we just named, right? Can you put Wilder in that category at all? Honestly, no, you can't.
No.
Same thing with Floyd Mayweather Jr. I tell these guys that I debate after I whoop their ass. I tell them all the time, no matter how much Floyd Mayweather. Okay, first of all, nobody takes away from Floyd Mayweather the way Floyd Mayweather took away from himself. Okay, and that's fact. That's number one. Number two, when you're padded and you've got stipulations in your contracts and everything like that, you're gimmicked. Now you can be a defensive savant. You could have fought 26 fucking champions on your resume, which most we all know was stipulated and gimmicked because we all know what's going on with that. It's just the point when it comes to the greats, all of these guys, except for the ones that have been fighting for real, not boxing entertainment, will always come up short across the debate table when it comes to greats. You cannot, even Anthony Joshua at this time right now, the only thing he's got is unifying, and I followed Anthony Joshua, but you can't put him just yet across the debate table against greats and say he's better than most of them. The feats, the accolades are just too great.
Well, you have to look until his
I've
career
got
is
one.
over or nearly over.
I've got one accolade that he has.
Yeah.
In terms of fights, in terms of his fights and unifying, the amount of fights he's had.
Right.
He's the fastest champion to unify 3 belts.
There we go.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
There we go. You see that? You see that? So that's
the
what I'm
history
saying.
of the sport. That's one hell of an accolade. Nobody can give a man shit for that.
And that's what I mean. As he's put, this is why I say Anthony Joshua is fighting correctly and Wilder is not. You see the feats that are happening here and the accolades that are happening with Joshua as he fights. Now, with Wilder, he's too much into the politics that he's missing his mark as to setting, a certain precipice. You understand? Certain, setting a certain plateau for motherfuckers to reach. This is what I mean. This is what boxing is supposed to be. It's supposed to be better than the ones that were before you. You're supposed to help build the foundation. And Wilder is just not doing that. All this slavery talk and till this day and all this other bullshit that has nothing to do with fisticuffs. It's ridiculous.
I'm still pissed about that till this day thing, and I can explain why. Yeah, Radio Raheem. Yep. We all watch his interviews. We've all seen him interview 1,000,001 times. One thing I can say about Radio Raheem is he takes as much bias away from his interviews as he possibly can, and he likes to be a reporter first, right? He's a professional.
Right.
And when he said you guys, right, you or whatever, and Wilder segregated him off, I'm just going to say the second he says for us, he's no longer being professional. If you're working on a building site, right, Jay? If you're working on a building site, do you go in there as a builder or do you go in there as a black man?
You go in there as a builder. Exactly.
If you're working in a warehouse, you're not a black man unloading a truck. You're unloading a truck as a warehouse laborer. That's what you're there to do. You're there to do your damn job, not to fucking crush biases across like that. There's other reporters out there for that if you want.
Exactly.
Right? There is.
Exactly.
There's guys out there who are getting media credentials locked away from them and shit like that because of the shit that they do. And Radio Raheem's still allowed to do his fucking job. Why? Because he's doing it professionally.
Exactly.
And the man gets fucking ostracized by thousands of black fans because one guy decided, you know what, I'm going to say that you decided to be a professional before you decided to be a black man. You're a sellout. Nah, go fuck yourself. The man's keeping his head above water and doing his job correctly. And you're there ostracizing him doing the exact same thing you don't want done to you.
Exactly. You are 100% on the fucking money on that. I agree with you. BG London says, if BG, I love your insight, man. You have great questions, my brother. God bless you, bro. Hell yeah, I love these questions, man. Thank you so much, my brother. He goes, if Joshua is desperate to become undisputed, why don't he bite the bullet and give 50%? He's set for life already. Well, see, the problem is that if Joshua bites the bullet and actually gives someone who can't even sell out in their own country, right, even in their own state, 50%, and knowing that 75% of that has been your fan base, has been your work ethic, has been your, just you, then that gives everyone else a pass to say, you know what, I want 50% too, who hardly hasn't put in any of the work. So this is not permissible. It can never be permissible. Now, we can all go ahead and say that Anthony Joshua, of course, right now, is holding down the pay-per-view bench on in the heavyweight division. Yes, he is. Of course he is. That's because he has been brought up that way. This is why I say with that question that you asked, Mr. London, that Wilder's team is the problem. Okay? Had I had had Bob Arum, okay? Let me just put it this way. Had I had Deontay Wilder in my stable, oh, the money I would have made. This guy would have been a household name a long time ago. You've got a big, strong, young, hungry champion in front of you. I just don't see why you would go and stall his career and not give him the fights he wants. Had Eddie Hearn had fucking Deontay Wilder, how far would he have gone? Okay? Had Don King, only in America, the fucking thief himself, okay? Had fucking Deontay Wilder. How far would Deontay Wilder have gone just right now? He would have been further than Joshua. You see, but this is the problem. He's
Actually,
not. Yeah.
Can I just add to the Don King thing?
Yeah, sure.
Would he
Go
have
ahead.
been? Would he be further, or would he have already lost by now? Because Don King put everybody in fights.
Yeah, that's true. Don King was a rough. That's exactly where I'm getting at. Thank you so much. This is what I mean. There are certain promoters, all right, like Top Rank, okay, Bob Arum, and you know, you have to. This is why Mayweather, De La Hoya, all of them left. It wasn't about the money. It was because if you really look at why uh uh Floyd Mayweather left, talk about he owed him $6 million, Bob Arum, but yes, Bob Arum paid $6 million off to another figure because Floyd Mayweather got himself in trouble, but Floyd Mayweather never bought that up. So that $6 million was already paid off. You see, it's a bunch of bullshit. It's the reason why they leave Top Rank is because they have to fight hard. Okay, they have to make their money with their hands. They have to actually work, and this is what happens, Tommy. This is what happens on Rival. This is exactly what happens. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I just make a point about that interview that Wilder had with Radio Raheem?
Yeah.
The thing I didn't like about that was you had a lot of channels calling him Radio Raccoon, and I didn't like that for a lot of reasons. But the thing that they all seem to be overlooking was he's a reporter, not just for America, but for the world and anybody who wants to watch it. So there is the non-US audience that'd be interested in that. And they were all getting on like it was only in America that people would be exposed to that interview. They don't think outside their own circle.
Right, exactly. And what BG London says here, he says Joshua's gambling too. Excuse me. Each fight, gambling each fight, bro. Money or legacy. Well, I'll tell you like this. There is a difference between, and I say this all the time, and it's the truth. No one has ever said this. There's a difference between a prize fighter and a legacy fighter. Before, everybody was put under the category of prize fighter, of course, because you were fighting for money. But now it's totally different. Okay, now you've got your prize fighters who just price themselves out and it's all about the money, and I'll take that fight if the money's right. Then you've got the legacy fighters who are like, you know what, fuck that, give me that low money as long as I'm going for a strap, and I'll fight everybody. Here's an example: Canelo Alvarez, prize fighter; legacy fighter, Gennady Golovkin. Okay, here's another one. You've got a prize fighter in fucking Deontay Wilder who's speaking first money, now legacy, now back to money. Then you've got Anthony Joshua has 3 straps, and you know, of course, like Mike Tyson, who let his work ethics bring him his price tags to his fucking fights. This is exactly why people have to understand the difference. There's a big difference here. Okay, money or legacy, you have to choose, and I think going for legacy is more important than money. The money is supposed to come with the territory. This is the problem. Look at the way Mike Tyson used to fight. Mike Tyson didn't come off earning $15 million, $20 million, then started going up to 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, $80 million. No, it didn't happen overnight. Mike Tyson became spectacular. His work ethic, his hands, his skill, Kevin Rooney, you know, they fucking produced Mike Tyson to a point where people were willing to spend $4,000, $20,000 for front row tickets at the Taj Mahal. You know what I mean? Like, people have to understand it's the way that you fight. It's the way that you present yourself in that ring. It has nothing to do with politics outside of the ring, and this is the problem in this era.
I could sit down right now, right? And I could let's say I take my phone outside with me. I go out onto the streets of Ireland, right? And I go around and I go asking people, who's the greatest American heavyweight of all time in boxing? And I guarantee it. If it's not Ali, everybody's going to say Mike Tyson. And it doesn't even have anything to do with his resume. Whilst his resume is pretty good, it is a very good resume. The thing about Mike Tyson, and this is a fact, is he drew everybody into him because of the way he fucking fought.
Right.
That I've never seen somebody do it. Like, it wasn't because of his talking as such. It wasn't until later in his career that the talking started. Casuals already knew who he was, like when he was only 21 years old. And the reason for that was that dude was fucking murking people.
Oh yeah.
And I mean murking people. Like Wilder murks people, don't get me wrong, but he did it in a way that was different.
Yeah, I mean, he did it. The reason why Mike Tyson is so superior is because he did it to motherfuckers that were a threat, were mandatories. If they weren't mandatories at the time, coming up in rankings, taking their rank. Mike Tyson was always the smaller guy, and he fought hard. This is exactly why people respect Tyson to this day. And to actually go around and say you're better than Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson only fought 2 Hall of Famers when it's really 4 and growing, I mean, that's total disrespect.
Well, how many fights into his career did he fight Trevor Berbick?
21? Yeah. 20? Exactly.
I mean, you're fighting Trevor Berbick that early in your career when you're how old? How old was he? 21?
Not even.
20?
Not even.
20.
He was
20. He fought Trevor Berbick.
The youngest.
Right? Yep. He fought Trevor Berbick when he was 20 years old, right? That's the idea of a 20-year-old. That's like Daniel Dubois right now fighting against Alexander fucking Povetkin.
Exactly.
That ain't happening.
Exactly. You see what I mean? And this is what the difference between, you know what I'm saying, the money and the legacy. You can take your legacy with you when you're dead. You will always be remembered for the way you threw those hands and your service within the sport of boxing. But now you can't take your money with you. Your money does not define you. Your money, this is what Mayweather politics has done to the fight fan. This is what Mayweather politics have done to the sport itself. That these guys think that it's all about the money first. No, the money comes with that territory. The reason why these guys threw on gloves back in the days, because of the oppression and the way things were happening, they threw on gloves and they had to fight about maybe 6 times a fucking week. You know what I mean? But now as it has evolved and it became more of a fucking sport, that money came with the way you fought. As you went up in rankings, as you got a title, the price tag went up. You started selling tickets. You started bringing everyone in. Of course, boxing is a business. You would have to be a fucking dummy to say boxing is not really a business. Of course, it's a business, but it's a sport before it's a business. Because understand this, in order to open up a business, you must have goods that sell. So competitiveness is exactly what the goods, okay, that sells. And if you don't have any competitiveness in a jar within any of your fucking fighters, then what business, what product are you selling? This is my whole point here. Competitiveness is the key factor to fucking boxing. I don't care. It's any combat sport. If you're not competitive enough, even Mike Tyson did it himself when he lost his last fight. And he said it himself, I can't fight anymore. It's not in my heart anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to put it down. I just don't want to embarrass the sport anymore. I don't want to embarrass myself anymore. I love the sport and I just don't want to disrespect it anymore. I don't have it in my heart anymore. You guys remember that speech? That shit made us cry. Okay? So that goes to show you, man. That goes to show you that these guys out here aren't about legacy. These guys out here aren't about foundation. They're not about the sport. And you can tell straight off the back as soon as they start saying they're fucking Trinidad or they're better than fucking, for Christ's sake, son, you've got motherfuckers saying they're better than Oscar De La Hoya, and Oscar De La Hoya was a bad motherfucker in his prime. And nobody's even got that. Nobody has that ingredient here. Only a certain few.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, sentiments.
Definitely, yeah.
BG says being against 50% split is being against undisputed. Holding the belt hostage is genius. Joshua has to give in. Trust me. No, he doesn't. I'm sorry, BG, but let me tell you something. Holding that WBC title, that's holding it for hostage. Because you got to think about it. Think about this. Even if they offered him $100 million, Wilder, that is, right? Don't you think that's generous enough? What about if that fight only made $200 million? don't you think that's sort of like a 50-50 split in itself? I mean, how much do you think this fight is actually going to make? It's not going to make over 200, 400 million dollars now. It's not.
Not the first fight.
Exactly. Like a lot of people are already turned off because of Wilder's antics. I mean, you've gotta go into this with your mind totally open. You just can't say, well, since he's got the 3 belts, why don't he give in? No, no, no. Whatever happened to the champion? You've got to fight to reach him. Like, whatever happened to that? Because from what I understand, Joshua's got 3 titles. This guy only has 1. What's going on here? What's going on here? He's already said yesterday that he needs to sit down with Wilder. Him and Wilder need to have a sit down. Where's Wilder saying this? Wilder has never said he wanted to sit down. All Wilder keeps complaining is, and he keeps switching up too. He keeps saying it's unification, then it's 50-50 split. Since when did a champion who has filled in many arenas, okay, is known in your own state, okay, is more prestigious than you, had to actually give in to your demands? So, where do they do this at? Where do they do this at? Since when did Joshua have to give in? Because think about it, the shoe was on the other foot. Would you be saying that Wilder has to give in? No, you wouldn't. And the rest of you guys wouldn't either. All you guys would be saying, no, Wilder's the bigger dog. He's got to fight to get up there. Nah, ain't no handouts. And basically asking for this is a fucking handout. You see? So if you're going to talk about the business side, then it doesn't only go with Wilder. It goes with the respect to Joshua too, where Joshua is the big dog. Joshua has all the titles. And it is Wilder who must work his way up there. Now, they had promised him 100 million, which is the biggest quadruple, quintuple the amount that Wilder will ever make in his career. $100 million, a 3-fight deal. Jesus Christ, son. You're not seeing that? That's not good enough? Okay, so let's just say this.
Brazil and Fury, by the way, it's 23 million.
Exactly. Either way, it's still more than he's ever fucking going to make. And I say
so
going.
That's 2 fights. If he gets a pay-per-view every fight, like pretty much, and it equals the Fury pay-per-view, which is different without Joshua. That's 13 million. So to make 100 million, that's what, just 7.7 fights, maybe.
Right. Like imagine this. Imagine Mike Tyson, who sold more, and this was the problem with making this fight. Imagine Mike Tyson, who has sold more than Lennox Lewis on pay-per-view. Imagine Mike Tyson just giving into a 50-50. It would have made no sense. Yeah. It wouldn't have made any sense. It wouldn't have made any sense, right? So this is why they had to sit down and say, you know what? We're going to have to make up for the other slice of the pie for Lennox Lewis because, Lennox Lewis is not popular and is not selling pay-per-view like Mike. The same thing is going on here. Anthony Joshua would sell. Like if you had Anthony Joshua and Wilder on the same day on a pay-per-view, who do you think people are going to buy their pay-per-view from? This is what they should do. This is it. To make this point clear, this is what they should do. They should hold their next fight on the same date, right, against different opponents to see who. This is the only way it would happen. And I guarantee you that Joshua would have more of the percentage of his pay-per-views bought than Wilder. You know why? You know why? I don't even have to say it. Tommy, you want to tell us why?
Sorry, Jedi. Just run that by me again.
I said that if Anthony Joshua and Wilder were to have a boxing match pay-per-view on the same day, who do you think whose pay-per-view do you think people would buy more of?
Oh, Joshua,
exactly.
10 times out of 10.
Why? Exactly why? That was the question. Why?
Oh, why? Because they both had pay-per-views, and you just look at the track record of how much they've sold. I think that says it in itself.
Right.
Well, I have a different opinion. Go ahead. It depends on what country it's in and who they're fighting. If it's in the UK, Joshua's going to outsell them on pay-per-view, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But here
he has a much larger audience. But if Joshua will not outsell Wilder on American pay-per-view if he isn't fighting some like a big fight. Like if Joshua was on American paper
Right.
and it was taking place in Vegas and he was fighting against, let's say, Tyson Fury, he'd probably outsell him at that mark. Probably.
Probably. You're right. You're absolutely right. Now,
But
here's
if he was fighting Jarrell Miller, it wouldn't do more than Wilder against Povetkin.
right. Now hold.
Yeah, but
now,
why don't we use figures that we actually know?
No, exactly. This is exactly what I was going to get into. Now, even if you was to tally up the numbers from a Wilder pay-per-view, it still would be lower
Well, there's
than
only one.
exactly like exactly only one. That would still be lower. That would be a third of what he sold in the UK. So you still can put that to the table and say Wilder just doesn't add up to fucking Joshua in pay-per-view sales. Now, I guarantee you, when Joshua comes to MSG, watch this do over 750,000 buys. I guarantee you. And that right there is going to tell everybody, and I hope it shuts everybody up here. You know what I'm saying? That's going against this shit where they actually think Wilder could sell. You know what I mean? I hope it shuts everyone up and says, okay, Joshua is a hit. In America, he sold over 750,000 fucking pay-per-views. Wow. Holy shit. Because from what I understand, we've lowered our standards to pay-per-view sales from the last time pay-per-view was on top. That I know. We lowered our standards now. Before it was you had to do 1 million in order to be pay-per-view king. Now it's like 700,000 now. Like the standard has been lowered. So,
I still think you'll need 1 million in America to be the pay-per-view king, or more, just because Canelo's done 1 billion.
Right. Right, exactly. See, BG, this is exactly what I'm saying. That's the whole point of holding the WBC belt hostage, to extort AJ for undisputed genius. No, it's not genius. It's not genius. That's extortion. That's really fucking up the sport, and everything that he's talking about, he's actually going up against. Think about this now. Think about this. He's claiming. See, you see, this is exactly why I don't understand most of you fight fans here. You're rooting on the antics of fucking Wilder, but you're not understanding that the antics that Wilder's doing, you guys are claiming that Joshua's doing, when it's really your man that's doing. There's nothing genius behind someone holding a title. This is why I respect, and even though it's a different weight class, I respect Keith Thurman in a way, because he let go of his WBC in order for it to be in contention when he was hurt. This dude Wilder hurt. He's not, and he's just holding that shit for hostage, claiming these guys don't want to give me a fight. Why? I don't understand that. How is that extorting? If anything, it's showing that you are a liar. It's showing that Wilder is a liar. It's showing that Wilder is really talking negotiations, but yet he's talking about that Joshua. And you've been hearing Joshua, Hearn, and everyone else. Let's make a deal. There was no $50 million that these guys had, and they were only offering fucking Joshua $50 million if it was ever there, right?
I'm still pissed.
But now
pissed by that.
Exactly. But now you have $100 million that was clean on the table. It was known. The contract was there, and he didn't sign it. So this is what I'm saying. Like, he may be confusing you. He may have a conspiracy theory cap on you guys where you guys can actually see the truth. But to actually say that it's genius for Deontay Wilder to hold the WBC belt hostage in order to extort AJ for a fight, but yet he keeps calling racism. He keeps calling price tags, pricing himself out. Then on top of that, he keeps calling unification. Which one is it? You see? So as diluted and as asinine and as confused and unknowledgeable as Deontay Wilder sounds, his fan base does too. No disrespect to anyone, but think about it, guys. If you're agreeing with this shit, him holding him hostage, and you're saying it's genius in order to extort, then the only extortion he's doing is he's actually exposing himself. He's exposing himself by doing this.
Can I say one thing in BG's favor? Because I know him quite well myself.
Sure.
I know BG really well.
Sure.
Where he's coming from is more so Wilder, when he's saying genius, I kind of agree with him in this aspect. It's not a genius move as such, but it is a very clever move to make himself more money, because he is able to use this as a way to financially give himself more money.
Right.
He's been doing it. And
Right.
since he started doing it, he's gone from 12 million, like you said, to 15 million, like you said, to 100 million.
Right.
Now, it might not be genius. It's one of the most old school tricks in the book, you know,
Right.
to marinate and extort and do this fucking shit. And he's doing it successfully, unfortunately. And I don't think it's good for boxing. But when you start saying that what Joshua should do is now give in to his demands, um, to make the fight happen, I agree as a fan who just wants to see the fights take place.
Yeah.
I agree as a fan who just wants to see the fights take place. If I'm advising Joshua, there's absolutely no way in hell I'm letting the guy who makes more money wreck his fucking what he's been doing for the last how many years it's been now?
Right.
The last 3 years, building up his own legacy, building up his own stuff just to make way for Deontay, just so that Deontay Wilder can get exactly what he wants.
Right.
Because that's like you turning around to me and saying, "Oh, well, I wanted to go out with my girlfriend, and I'm paying for everything. I'm doing this, and I've never picked any restaurants we've ever gone to." Fuck it.
Right.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, like I said, he's got to, regardless, he's got the WBC belt. You're going for unification. You're going to have to fight harder, and you're going to, you're going to have to take $100 million. Who wouldn't, just like you stated on Rival, who wouldn't fight anyone for 7 million here, right? $100 million, bro. I'll fight anybody, bro. $100 million, bro. I'll fight any fucking, I'll fight Godzilla, goddammit. I would throw these hands up, son. And regardless, I'm going to be fucking fried by his fire breath. I'm still punching at his toenail. I don't give a fuck. $100 million? Shit. My man Ross Clot 222, welcome. My brother MOBC in the house. No doubt, my own boxing community. Definitely. And like I said, I can understand where you're coming from, BG, and it's good boxing talk. We agree to disagree. I don't feel any different, towards you. You know what I'm saying? You're still my peoples, of course, my brother. Much love. But I'm just saying, man, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Roskla says 100 mil. Wilder knew AJ was going to get thrown in there. Yeah, I mean, yeah. You know what I mean? Look, $100 million is better than $12 million. It's better than anything. And Wilder, since he started off complaining about he wanted 50-50, like I said, imagine this fight only makes 200 mil. Let's just say it does that, because nobody knows exactly what it's going to generate. It's hot to us fight fans, but now we got to look at Wilder's following, where they fail him. They never buy his tickets to go see him. Think about it. They talk so much shit about, oh, Wilder's this and Wilder deserves that. So why aren't you guys contributing? And these are facts. Look at the numbers at the tickets at the gate. Wilder 50% for someone who doesn't even sell 35% of their tickets. No. That's like giving away your hard work. How are you giving? Thank you. How are you giving hard work? Your hard work. You've busted your ass. You've put yourself up on this chart to say, I sell tickets. I'm the number one motherfucker. Now, just because the fight fans, just because this guy has the other title, see, this is why I respect Joshua. Joshua's like, you know what? Fuck the WBC. And us fans are the same way. You know what? The WBC has been fucking tarnished. Fuck it. Not only because of that.
Agreed.
Yeah, exactly. Not only because of that, because he has not valiantly, and I'm talking valiantly, and I'm going to say it one more time, valiantly defended his fucking title against somebody's. He did it all with mediocres, okay? And this is Deontay Wilder's whole plan. And I'm sorry to break it to you guys. This is just what I feel. I may be wrong, but this is what I see. This fight between Joshua and Wilder will never happen. It's not going to happen. You know what Wilder's going to do? He's going to go the other way. And if you take a look at the steps he's taking, you will see exactly that I'm correct. Now, peace to the regular militant who made a video about clout chasing. We all know what clout chasing is. Using someone's name in order to keep pushing yourself over there, but you never meet him face to face. This is what Wilder's doing. So now, this is what Wilder's going to do for his future. Wilder is going to break Rocky Marciano's record, which is the only thing to do in the heavyweight division besides go undisputed and unify. If you can't do
He
that,
can't beat the record. He's already
well,
drawn.
okay, well, because of the draw, but still, he still can beat 49-0 and being undefeated. He has not lost. You see,
He
so
can do
this
the undefeated thing, but he can't go. He can't go 49 and perfect.
exactly. But what I'm saying here is it's a record. It's a feat now. You see, it's something that's up there. So yes, it's very good, but at the same time, you cheated yourself. You cheated the boxing fans. You cheated the sport in itself to have carved in many gravestones that belong to the greats as putting one of those fights up in the heavyweight histories as Wilder versus Joshua or Joshua versus Wilder, whichever the fuck, however order you want to put it. It has been deprived. This is what I see Wilder trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Trying to say, "Oh, I beat," and he's gonna say it. I beat Marciano's record. I'm 50-0, regardless of the draw. I'm 50-0. I did it undefeated. That's all that matters. And you know what? Everybody else is gonna eat it up and say, "Yeah, that don't matter. That is only gonna matter to us." You know what I'm saying, Unrivaled? You know what I'm saying, Tommy? It's only gonna matter to us, but it's not gonna matter to anyone else because just like they're taking a lot of stuff out, right? That's supposed to be in order to be like, wait, you can't do that. They're taking that shit out too.
You know what's annoying, man? He's going after that record, and that record doesn't actually matter. Do you know what record I'd like to see him try and do?
Mm.
I'd like to see him beat Joe Lewis's record.
That would be grand. That would be something. That would
the
be
most
something.
amount of title defenses in the history of the heavyweight division. But you know what would make it really special? If he did it the same way Joe Lewis did, and those title defenses be undisputed.
Right,
but
right.
that'll never happen.
Right.
How many title defenses did Joe Lewis have?
20.
20?
21.
21.
21. Holmes got 20 and Klitschko had it.
Yep. And the longest, and I'm gonna repeat, the two guys that have the longest title reign, it doesn't matter what division they're in, is Marvelous Marvin Hagler and fucking Monzon. 6 years. 6 years. And these guys dare to say that Canelo is the greatest fucking middleweight champion ever. Get the fuck out of here on any means of transportation.
We all have a different opinion on the greatest middleweight champions of all time, I'm sure.
Mm.
Are we strictly talking middleweight or any weight?
No, we're talking any weight. A 6 year fucking title reign. That's by two men here. It's very rare. You know, I mean, there are others that have had it longer, of course, because the sport was
like
becoming.
Lewis.
Yeah, that was becoming innovative. But I'm talking about in those times, man. In those times, like to hold the title 6 years, and a lot of people say, "Oh, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Monzo, they fought nobodies." Are you fucking kidding me? Those nobodies, those cab drivers that you label, if they were in this era now, bro, each of them will have fucking titles, all of them trinkets, bro. These were hard fighters, man. These were tough contenders. And nobody can say, "Oh, it's not their fault they're not fighting like that." Yes, the fuck it is. Yes, it is. The same thing it is for football, the same thing it is for basketball. Things have been taken lightly. Everybody's been given a second place trophy in every fucking sport. Nobody contends hard anymore. Nobody tries to beat Nolan Ryan's pitches. Nobody tries to beat Joe Montana's fucking. Nobody's trying to do that shit. What they're doing is, oh, okay, he's off 2 or he's off 5. Let's still give him the MVP. Let's still give him the trophy. No.
Is there any champion in say, this generation that's fought regularly twice a year or defended their strap twice a year? Rather than just once.
Where in this era? In this era?
Yeah. Let's say the last 10, 20 years.
I would say maybe the last 20 years, I would say Tito Trinidad did. You know, he fought twice and defended his straps when he needed to. I would have to say, of course, Tito Trinidad. Let's see, Chocolatito Gonzalez did. He defended his strap twice. I mean, there, like I said, there are some legacy fighters in this era that are trying, like Lomachenko, Chocolatito Gonzalez, Khalid Plant, Usyk. Guys that are Crawford. Did I say Lomachenko already?
I'll have to wait a little on the legacy thing with Caleb Plant. He's had one notable fight so far.
Well, Caleb Plant right now is talking about fighting the next title holder, and like I said, he's fighting hard. Like he's taking less money.
Isn't his next fight Mike Lee?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. But do you know how much he's getting? You know how much he's getting paid for that? Not much. And this is what I mean about legacy fighters. Lonnie
Yeah,
Golovkin.
but Mike Lee isn't a legacy fight. Like
Oh no,
let's be
he's
real.
yeah, he's one of those. Yeah, he's one of those. Thrown in the way shits, no doubt, no doubt. Of course,
Yeah,
Khalid Plant needs a ladder to climb. Of course, all fighters need ladders to climb. But what I'm saying here is just fighting hard. Like, you know what I mean? Like his last fight
yeah,
that he had. That was a great fucking display of the fucking sport. You know?
yeah. Him against Wisconsin. That was a tremendous fight. I'm so happy to see that whole thing. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yep.
but I want to before I'll go calling him a legacy fighter. I'll need to see him start like outside of that one fight that he's had. Because
Right.
like I mean, Callum Smith's also beaten George Groves. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Well.
now Callum Smith's fighting fucking Hassan and Dan.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'll need to see. I'll need to. I never call anybody a legacy fighter before. It's like I thought. After like only a few fights, Gervonta Davis fighting against fucking Pedraza. Now look at who the fuck he's fighting.
Yeah.
Everybody whose name you can't pronounce or you've never fucking heard of. So I always wait to use the term a legacy fighter until I see those fighters actually get
Well,
3 or 4 very good fucking fights of them.
Well, I call them legacy fighters simply because they're taking low money. They're going for titles and they're fighting the people that these so-called champions that are on top. Even though these fighters that are unknown are in contention, like they're ranked, they just won't fight them. You know what I mean? And they're all like, I mean, let's be real. How many fucking contenders that were ranked under 3 were fucking dangerous to champions when the champions actually decided? You know what I mean? Like so much controversy because it's being overshadowed. A lot of these contenders, are being overshadowed. They're being thrown out. That's why people don't understand where the fuck did Lomachenko come from? Where the fuck did Teofimo come from? These were guys that were put into the fucking back because you guys were into the Mayweather politics, the Gervonta Davis, the PBC spotlight, but you guys are forgetting the real fighters. This is why a lot of guys don't really know boxing. Like a lot of guys are, they can't, their whole boxing knowledge can't stretch out to other fighters in different divisions that have been, put in the dark by all of these fucking commercial ass fighters. Like look what happened with Mauricio Herrera, very good contender, and when he showed Danny Garcia the business in Puerto Rico, now he's known. Where the fuck did Mauricio Herrera come from? Mauricio Herrera is one of the best fucking body workers, one of the best people to work at the body in boxing today. And people are like not knowing this because they're too busy with the fucking peanut butter and cream cheese boxing.
No, I understand where you're coming from. Let's take Noah Inoue as an example right now.
Right.
People didn't really get onto the hype train with him until recently when he beat a guy who was like known as a bantamweight, a Puerto Rican guy in Rodriguez. People didn't really jump onto his bandwagon and go, "Oh my god, this kid's a monster! Who the fuck is this kid?" When this kid's already fucking been a champion in 3 different weight divisions, like fucking hell.
Right.
Had no idea who the hell he is, and now people are saying, "Oh, this guy might be pound for pound number 1. Oh, this guy is one of the best fighters I've ever." And people are starting to like hype him up in the lower weights.
Yeah.
And it's like, where the fuck have you been for the last 3 years?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now, back to the heavyweight division, gentlemen. We've got a couple of threats coming up. Kawanaki, of course, but let's talk about a jog bar. Okay, a jog bar is on some shit where he's got motherfuckers before the bell rings leaving the fucking stadium, dogs. Scared to death. Have you guys seen this?
Yeah, I seen the Curtis Harper thing.
Okay.
I haven't, not yet.
Now, let me tell you something. I think a jog bar, given the opportunity, and if he's able to pick up at least 2 more fights this year, and then next year, he happens to put himself into contention and fight about maybe 2-3 more fights, I can actually see in 2022 a jog bar being a threat to fucking Wilder if he's still in the fucking game, and Joshua and every other heavyweight out there. Let me tell you something about a jog bar. From what I've seen so far, this guy knows his mechanics. This guy knows how to fucking fight. And to put him in there with rough and tough dogs right now, me personally, if you ask me, that's the era I grew up in. Fuck it, throw him in there. Let him get better. Because a L is a L. I don't give a fuck about losses. You are not tarnished. That's another thing. These motherfuckers think that because you got 2 or 3 losses, you're fucking tarnished. You're no good. You're a scrub. You suck. No, man. The greats have losses. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Any insight on that? On the losses? On how motherfuckers think that just because you have a loss, you're nobody?
It's not like
Yeah,
that in
sure.
MMA.
It's not like that in MMA, but if you go out right now and you ask people to name over the last 30 years the fight like hardcore boxing fans, who are the 5 best fighters? Right? Let me guess. Floyd. Some people might say Floyd, right? Some
Yeah.
might. Pac will come up. Roberto Duran, Hagler, Hearns,
Yeah.
Sugar Ray Leonard. Outside of Floyd, what do all of those men have in common? Outside of being amazing fighters,
Mm.
they all lost.
Mm. Mm.
What about who do a lot of people consider the greatest fighter pound for pound of all time? Sugar Ray Robinson.
Right.
He lost. My opinion, Sam Langford, greatest pound for pound fighter of all time. He lost. Harry Greb, he lost.
Right.
Gene Tunney lost. He lost fighting Harry Greb.
Right. Mike Tyson lost. Fucking
Sandy Sadler lost. Willie
Yes.
Pep got knocked out 3 times by Sandy Sadler.
Yes.
Lennox Lewis.
Yes. Greats lose. And L doesn't mean a loss. It means a lesson. Because if you notice, when they come back, they've learned from that loss. And even if they lose again, they've learned some of it. And sometimes it takes maybe 2 more fights, 3 more fights in order to gain the victory and correct yourself. But it's still a lesson. Motherfuckers are taking shortcuts here, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're taking shortcuts here.
Lennox was a fucking don, man. That's all I can say about Lennox. But this dude fucking lost. He came back wanting your head.
Yeah.
Like when he got stopped by Rackman, yeah?
Yeah.
On my birthday. This was my birthday. I was 8 years old, 22nd of April 2001. He got stopped. And then pretty much 6, 7 months later, November I think it was, so 7 months later, he fights Hasim Rackman again on straight away on a comeback. And he knocked his ass out.
Yep.
Right? He had a draw against Evander Holyfield, right?
Yep.
That's what the result was. They had the rematch. He beat me unanimously. Right? He gets beat by Oliver McCall. It took a while for that fight to happen again. But who did he fight in between? Tommy Morrison and Ray fucking Mercer.
Yep.
To get himself back in there. He had to go through Mercer and Tommy Morrison to get his hands back on McCall, and then he stopped it.
Yep, Tommy Morrison at the time with the most devastating left hook, and then you had Mercer who beat the shit out you. Mercer was merciless. Matter of fact, wasn't that his middle name? Merciless, Ray Merciless Mercer, right? This motherfucker was no joke, and he looked like a fucking red-nosed pit bull.
He was tough as a coffin nail.
One of my favorite fights of all time, and I just want to give a big rest in peace on one of the most underrated fights of all time: Ray Mercer versus Burt Cooper.
Versus who?
Burt Cooper.
Oh yeah, man.
That's a slugfest for the ages, man.
Bro.
If anyone hasn't watched that fight, just go watch that fucking fight.
That's one of the epitomes of a fucking heavyweight championship fight, man. Fuck yeah.
They just beat the shit out of each other constantly in that fight.
Oh, fuck yeah. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. And guys, please help me educate these dumb motherfuckers. And I'm not talking about anyone on the chat. You guys are good. You are my people. Hashtag come back to boxing, MOBC, London, Ireland. Love you guys. You guys are in the house. You know what I mean? Even in the comment section, please help me debunk the fucking bullshit that's going around, guys. Okay, I call upon the power of all of your boxing knowledges. Okay, my friends on the panel, my brothers on the panel, and my brothers here in the live chat. Now, do you think that Gervonta Davis would have been able to beat Hector Macho Camacho? I mean, this is what's going around. on a lot of boxing forums, on Facebook, on Instagram. I'm every fucking where, brother. I'm just like air. I'm like air. I'm everywhere. And this has been going around, and I have just been throwing up the die laughing with the smile and the fucking tear emoji because it's funny to me. Now, can anybody, everybody, not anybody, everybody, all my brothers in the live chat, all my brothers on the panel, please break it down exactly if you do think this. If you don't think it, please let me know. Personally, Hector Macho Camacho was too fast, too hard, too crisp, too clean for fucking Gervonta Davis, baby. Anyone else
I
want
can't.
to?
People are saying that.
Yeah, yeah. I shit you not,
The
my brother.
this right. So let me just ask a question. Can Tank beat Canelo? Can Tank beat Canelo?
Nope.
This
Nope.
motherfucker beat Ray Leonard at middleweight.
Mm-hmm.
This guy beat Roberto Duran at middleweight. This, like, what the fuck? This guy had great fucking fights. The only people he lost to, like, in his prime years were great fighters.
Exactly. And mind you,
Like Chavez and Greg Hogan and Felix Trinidad.
he
If
moved up. He moved up.
he
He
did,
moved up in multiple fucking divisions. But let's talk about where he started from. Let's just talk
lightweight.
about that on how fucking devastating, fast, quick, how sharp Hector Macho time Camacho was,
He actually
man.
started at super featherweight, didn't he? Like
Yes,
Solis and Lemon.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
So he would have been able. Listen. Hector Macho Camacho would have eaten Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis would have looked like that Cabbage Patch Kid meme he has. Okay, he would have been swollen in the face. Would have been knocked out. Definitely knocked out. Hector Macho Camacho was just too devastating, man. Too devastating for Devonta Davis, man.
I just know that he didn't lose until he was up at 140.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
That was against Hogan, wasn't it? In a split decision,
Right,
and then he beat Hogan in the rematch directly afterwards.
right.
And then a couple fights later, he's fighting a Hall of Fame legend in Julio Cesar Chavez.
Right. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Who was the first person that Chavez lost to? Who knocked Chavez down for the first time?
Do you want to take it, Tommy?
The first time he got knocked down, I think that was towards the end of his career, but I can't remember who that was. But I think he retired after that fight.
It was Tito Trinidad.
Okay.
It was against Tito Trinidad. He got knocked down for the first time. And I tell you right now, guys, even treat Tito Trinidad right now. Right now. Had he still been in like if he would have shown up in this era instead of his last era, bro, he would have been fighting like that. These guys would have had problems. Okay? Now you guys are
I'll
probably
be honest with you. At 154, could you imagine Winky right now?
oh my goodness, the best defensive motherfucker. The guy with the fucking springboard forearms. Hell yeah, bro. His
That
defense,
jab, bro.
bro,
Tito still has nightmares about that shit.
bro. Winky Wright, man, had the fucking tightest defense, brother. Like nobody could get through those fucking forearms, man. Them shits were like zombie horde board ups on windows, bro. Them forearms whenever they closed up.
Winky should never have fought Bernard at 170 though.
Yeah, that was
I agree.
that. I mean, we
Too heavy for that fight.
I mean, we loved it, we wanted it, but yeah, it should have been something different. But Bernard too at middleweight was a fucking beast too.
Yeah,
okay?
He was.
Okay, and this
He
is
was
what
basically a super middleweight or a light heavy, just boiled down.
Yeah.
They should have been fighting each other at 160, to be honest.
Yeah. And another fucking great middleweight, Roy Jones Jr. If you want to take it even further, and these are guys who would have beaten the shit out of guys today, even Cinnamon. Okay, definitely Roy Jones Jr. definitely up in Cinnamon's ass. He would have fucked Canelo Alvarez. He would have looked worse than he did against Floyd Mayweather Jr. Bro, trust me when I say this. Had Roy Jones Jr. been put in this era and fought Canelo Alvarez would have looked like, goddamn, son, why'd you even pick up those gloves? Canelo Alvarez wouldn't have been able to reach at all against Roy Jones Jr. Even a James Toney who would have stood right in front of him.
Oh yeah,
Okay?
James Toney might be the worst possible person for Canelo to fight.
Yeah,
Just because if this guy can do everything Canelo does,
let's talk about the worst people. Let's talk about McClellan. Let's talk about him, the G-man. Let's talk about uh uh the Hawk,
Nigel Benn.
Julian Jackson. Let's talk about Nigel Benn. See, these guys, they fought.
Nigel Benn wouldn't give Canelo any time off in the ring, would he?
At all.
No. He'd be on him like hair on soap.
He would have been on him like his goddamn freckles on his face. Nigel Benn. Fucking Tony's reviews. Peace to you, my brother. What's going on, bro? Good to see you, man. Yo, even Paul Williams, like my man says, Sergio Martinez before the leg injuries. You know what I'm saying? But Rosclaw says Nigel Benn murdered Canelo, and I have to agree. Marvelous. Look, people say Marvelous Marvin Hagler would have been beaten down by GGG, broken down by GGG. People say that he would have been broken down by Canelo. Get the fuck up on out of here on any means transportation. Today, me, Tommy, and Unrivaled Boxing are giving away fucking Segways. We're giving away ATVs. We're giving away 4 fucking sided skates, skateboards, in order for you to get the fuck away from us with that shit. Okay? Any means of transportation. Guys of today are not fighting. The fucking beast Mugabe would have eaten Canelo and Gigi. I mean, for Christ's sake, guys, I understand. Look, most of this shit is, look, this is why it's sad. It's sad, Unrivaled, what you stated, but it's the goddamn truth, man. With the casuals that hold up the numbers today in boxing, you know, I have to agree. And it's sad. It's sad. But the hardcores is still here. It's just we've decided and we've given up on talking. You know why? Well, most of them. You know why? Because it's getting nowhere. It's getting nowhere. It's like no matter what we say, no matter what proof we bring, it's like some far left shit where it's like, I don't care. It's what I say. And this is what the problem is, man. Then you've got Golden Showers Promotions. You know, you've got Oscar Fishnet De La Hoya. You've got fucking Boho, B-Hop, Sellout Hopkins. You've got the rest of these motherfuckers who are basically out to agendas and politics. And look, we've already had it in 2018, a transgender fight. Is this healthy for the sport of boxing?
Hell no.
Is this, you see, so this is what I mean when I talk to DAZN, when I talk to Eddie Hearn, and I tell him, you have to be careful. You have to be very careful with Golden Showers Promotions because Canelo only has, 8 more fights. These 8 more fights are going to be ridiculously stupid fights, bro. They're going to be empty. People, you're going to lose subscriptions. You're already losing them now. Okay, you've got to watch out for their politics. I don't even know. I can understand. Yes, Canelo's marketable, only the casuals, and you know he's got a Menudo fan group. Okay, fan base with women. We understand this shit. Boxing, yes, is a business, but at the same time, what about us competitive motherfuckers who can see right through motherfuckers who have transparent boxing gloves? What about that? What about the stats that and the fighters and the ethics that we just finished talking about that these guys have set in order to have foundation so these stupid motherfuckers can actually evolve the sport, and they still haven't. If boxing is so better than it was back then, why hasn't it evolved? Why doesn't it look better? Why haven't most of these fighters passed these feats? Why do they need help?
Because it's more business and they fight less often, so they don't have to be as tough as they were in the old days.
Right.
My opinion.
Right. No, I respect that. And you're absolutely correct, my brother. You're absolutely correct. Peace to the boxing junkie. One of the 4. What's going on, baby? All the way from Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? He says, I think Canelo would be great in any era. Canelo probably would have been great in in the mid 90s. You know, when the middleweight division was popping, he would have been very, 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 very fucking good. Like 92 around there. He would have been real fucking good. You know, but put in the era where, you know, you had Nigel Benn, you had Marvelous Marvin Hagler, you had Monzone, oh man, even Roberto Duran, even Iran Barkley, bro. I do not see Canelo in there with these fucking guys, with these monsters, bro. No.
They're good fights.
Yeah, they would have been great fights. Canelo, I'm not gonna say that Canelo wouldn't have been able to hold his own. I'm not. I'm not gonna be biased like that. I'm not. But what I will say is that against these guys, these guys literally would breathe, eat shit boxing. I mean, when these guys hit their wives, bro, they fucking hit them with a right cross, bro. Like everything was boxing. They hit their children with a right cross. Like everything was boxing. These guys would fucking pick up the food off their plate with their forks or their spoons, like if this with the same rhythm as hitting a speed bag. Okay, these guys took care of themselves. These guys, and if there was PEDs in the sport, which a lot of these motherfuckers, these young bastards, love to say with no proof, right? With no proof. But if there was PEDs back then, shit, they did a good job in fucking either masking or not bringing it out. But all I can say is that the way these guys were fighting, I think it was a bit more natural. The physique in these motherfuckers, I think it was a bit more natural.
It was, because if you go back before Klitschko, any fighter that was sort of in his mid-30s to 40, he didn't have the same body he had 10 years prior. And you look at Klitschko when he fought AJ, he had the body of someone half his age. And I'm sorry, I don't believe that was natural.
Right. Right. I mean, if anybody was going to be accused of PDs, it should have been Mike Tyson, right? I mean, let's just take it into fantasy land. I mean, the way he was going in there, his physique looked like a fucking body. He looked like a fucking Sergio, whatever his name is, from bodybuilding. He was fucking cut up big, right? The way he was knocking motherfuckers out one punch, but that never came to fruition. Nobody ever said Mike Tyson was on PDs. You know why? Because there was training footage on how Mike Tyson would train. There was proof on how Mike Tyson would train. There were stories that motherfuckers used to get paid $2,000 to $3,000 in order to go a full fucking 12 round in sparring, going 70 to 80% and still getting knocked the fuck out. I mean, for Christ's sake, son, Mike Tyson was knocked down by Oliver McCall in a sparring session. That's how hard they went. You know what I'm saying? Proof was given. This is exactly why. So why don't we have this today in today's eras? You know why? Because it also goes out with motherfuckers like Ego Boxing. I'm saying the names. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? The biased voice, aka the boxing voice, right? You've got motherfuckers like did I say Ego fucking Boxing? Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And the rest of these motherfuckers, 78, everybody. I don't give a fuck. You got all of these motherfuckers out here, part of the propaganda wheel, lying to you and trying to discredit fucking greats. Not talking about exactly what me, Unrivaled, Tommy are talking about, and when they have their own streams, as well as Raphael Dawkins to our Boxing Talk Radio. Everybody else, peace to YG as well. Everybody out there that's telling the fucking truth. 10 players, Rosclot 222, the boxing junkie, the red glove militant. Man, there's a whole list of motherfuckers that are boxing aficionados here. And you
Big
mean
Boys
to tell,
Boxing.
Big Boys Boxing, Tony's Reviews, and motherfuckers mean to tell motherfuckers like us that since we studied the sport of boxing, and me myself since watching it since 84, knowing exactly what the fuck greatness is, and other guys that have, even if you're from this era or from the era before, right? And not even coming from where I came from, piece to cigar boxing as well. Even if you didn't come from my era, you still took the incentive to make sure the responsibility to study up on the fucking sport, son, the history of the sport. And you guys did that. Those are doing that. And I have massive respect coming from my soul for you guys because you're educating yourself. You guys can talk all you fucking, but these casuals out here that are just, sitting back, right? And just watching shit now. And then just because they seen guys like Chavez in his later years get beat the fuck up by guys that were coming up, that's garbage. He's washed. Roy Jones Jr., who went through how many? I think 4 decades of fucking boxing, and just because he lost to someone who was younger and he was in his almost in his 50s. He's garbage. He's trash. Motherfuckers, did you see what he's done before that? I mean, this is exactly what I mean. They nitpick. They nitpick. You know, they take out of greatness careers, out of great fighters' careers, and then they put it in their argument. And then they want to say, oh, but he lost to this guy. Oh, Chavez was fine. Chavez was 89-0 in a time where boxing was not only becoming innovative, motherfuckers were fighting really, really hard. Like I said, those guys that you call cab drivers, had they been in this era now, they all would have been title holders, man. I lie to you fucking not.
I agree, by the way. People were someone said to me the other day, Bert Cooper. That Bert Cooper was a punching bag. Could you imagine Bert Cooper today? The way he fought against any of these heavyweights.
Right.
Could you imagine him in there with he would have been he was way better than like a Derek Chisora, who was considered a gatekeeper.
Listen, Bert Cooper was a slugger. He had a Louisville for a jab, and he had an aluminum bat for a right, bro.
It's true. And the other thing about him is it wasn't as though like he was a journeyman or anything, or even a gatekeeper. It wasn't like, oh, you get through him. No. You had to ask that motherfucking permission. You had to get permission for him to move in to try and fight anybody.
Yep.
Ray Mercer to get up into the upper echelon had to go through Bert Cooper, and he had, I'd say, one of the hardest fights of his entire career. Evander Holyfield was nearly stopped on his feet against Bert Cooper.
Yep.
That's as close to fucking possible to get knocked out on your feet. Fuck Ortiz, Wilder. Holyfield was out.
Is that when he was leaning on the ropes?
Yeah.
I've no idea how the fuck he stayed on his feet and how that was. In today's era, that would have been stopped.
Is that when he was leaning on the ropes at the end of the round?
You can call it leaning. I call it sleeping. I mean,
yeah, he took some licks and he came back. He recovered very well after that.
He did, but in today's era, tell me that fight's not getting stopped.
Yeah,
No.
especially, I think it probably gets stopped quicker in the UK, if I'm honest.
But yeah, well, there is this thing going around called the UK stop. So.
That's what I'm saying.
But the other thing, Jedi, I wanted to say is a lot of these casuals are being misled by a lot of the channels that they're following, and they just take it as gospel. What they're saying is the truth without validating the information themselves.
Yep.
And they're just sheep.
What was the last part you broke up?
Sorry, I said they're just sheep.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. A whole bunch of sheep, man. And these are sheep that are trying to bark like dogs. You ever seen a sheep try to bark? We're seeing it now with these fucking guys, and this is exactly why I have to make these emergency fucking lives to try, and pull in credible guys like you guys and have people, have boxing aficionados in the fucking chat, because whoever runs into these videos, it's always educational. Because you guys have to understand exactly what Tommy says. Like, you guys are being misled, man. You guys, you look. First of all, I have a video you guys can look at. Look, I had debated the boxing voice, which I call the biased voice. I had battled these motherfuckers over a fucking a little debate over fighters of today and with the social media today and what it was back then. And I said Mike Tyson was as famous as fighters, back then. Mike Tyson didn't need social media. Mike Tyson was famous because of his fucking work ethic, because of himself. And these guys actually tried to say and disagree with me. And this is why I hung up. And you can hear him say, oh, well, I disagree. He don't know what he's talking about. I have called these motherfuckers out, and still no challenge. And this is going to happen, guys. You guys can call these fucking commercialized boxing fucking casual fucking channels out, and these guys will never face you in a fucking debate. You know why? Because they know that their fan base will be like, holy shit, this guy knows what he's talking about, and subscribe to you. Yeah,
They get exposed.
I've gone one step further, man. I've been blocked by the casual voice, man.
Yeah.
I've been blocked on their website. I've been blocked on YouTube.
Ooh.
I've been blocked on their Skype. I've been blocked via email.
And I tell you right now, they're all fucking sellouts, man. Every channel when the Maypac fight was starting, motherfuckers got cars, motherfuckers got all types of shit, new computer stuff, just to promote Mayweather. Coming from PBC Al Heyman size, a lot of channels sold out, and I just unsubscribed. And I talk about it because I am just waiting for them to mention my name, which is the inevitable, and I'm going to get in that ass like beta carotene and all types of protein, bro.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Do you want to know why I got blocked, man?
What?
You know the way the casual voice are doing this whole border war shit.
The casual voice, that's good.
Yeah, I call it the box. I call it the bias voice, but yeah, that's a good one. The casual voice, that's awesome.
You know the way they're doing this border wars thing where they have people fighting, right? When your man Ness, when he came over to Ireland, he did something. I'm highly patriotic, right? Ireland has massive history. He said, "I own this country. I'd beat the shit out of any Irishman." So
Right.
I went on to it. I called him out. I said, "I want to break your fucking face in. I'll fight you in border wars. I'll put 10 grand up." I wasn't joking. Right? He said, "Have you any type of experience?" I said, "A little bit of me experience. I fought amateur for a long time, right? I put all my information up, blah blah blah. I sent in videos, blah 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 blah. The next day I went to go onto the website. I'm blocked on Skype. I am blocked on Google. I am blocked. I'm blocked everywhere by the Boxing Boys. My IP is blocked by Ness. I mean, my actual IP is blocked by him because of his site. I can't actually see their videos on YouTube without going onto a proxy.
Damn, they scared of you, man.
Because I'm serious. If it were to ever happen and I were to get into a ring with him, he knows what I want to do to him. I'm going to snap his face off. One, because he's a casual, and two, and this is most important to me, that motherfucker was in my country saying that he owns it.
Yeah.
The last time that happened where people were in our country, we were in a 900-year war and we didn't fucking stop till we got independence.
Right. And for a simple motherfucker like that, a civilian from the United States,
can't fight. Have you seen him spar?
Oh yeah,
I have seen him spar, mate. I was literally going to go in there and just break his face,
bro.
He has just backhand him, give him a slap. He'd be done.
He has no entrances.
Plus, he actually loses something that he's used to having against me, and that's a size advantage.
If he knows how to use it, because you can just do
but he loses that again. He loses that, man. I'm 6'5.5".
Yeah, you see that?
235, 240.
Listen,
he might be heavier than me.
I'm 5'11", 170 pounds, and I will knock that motherfucker out. I don't get. Matter of fact, man, whatever the challenge is on, I don't give a fuck, son. Like people are sleeping. People are sleeping. Like I don't only watch it. I used to breathe and shit it. I was a multi-kickboxer, Boran style. I'll beat the shit out of you, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. I don't give a fuck, man. These guys are always talking this shit. And these guys don't even have fucking hands. The first thing they'll do is draw a gun on you if they see you face to face or come with like 2 or 3 fucking guys. You know what I mean? These guys are all fucking cunnilingus, bro. Shaved pussy. Shaved fucking pussy. That's exactly what it is, man. And I'm not issuing no fucking challenge. I'm not, because I've already been there. I done that. Everybody in the chat section has had their own little fucking little tips with motherfuckers where they be like, "Oh, meet me at the gym. Meet me at the gym then." Right? I'm more than sure everybody's been through that shit. So this is why, man, fuck these dudes. These dudes ain't about shit. A lot of motherfuckers got blocked by a lot of LDBC motherfuckers because we know more than they do. Guys, even in the comment section, we know more than they do. We always have known more than they do. The YTBC, the YouTube boxing community, the original YTBC that has been fucking pushed and continues to be pushed by myself, Rasclat 222 players, the Boxing Junkie, the Red Glove Militants, Zabata Boxing, motherfucking Unrivaled Boxing, Tommy Temper. Even though you're new to the fucking community, you guys keep it boxing. These motherfuckers don't know how to do shit but fucking pollute the sport, pollute the community, trying to grab, like Tommy says, fucking try to create sheep. And these guys don't know what the fuck they're doing, bro. These guys don't know what they're doing with the sport. And I am ashamed of senior uploaders that have fucking tied themselves to propaganda like this. There were a lot of bad motherfuckers that used to fucking break down boxing. Motherfuckers used to have guys like us go see our weed dealers to make sure we had our blunts for whenever they or if guys drank or if guys finished fucking their wives and putting their kids to sleep. We used to have a time set where we used to sit down and wait for this motherfucking awesome uploader to upload their shit. That doesn't happen anymore. It's not there anymore.
I'll be honest. I've been watching for years. Yeah.
Yeah, and Sean Newton too. I cannot forget Sean Newton. Thank you, Joe. And Sean Newton too. Enough respect to Sean Newton. And even though I don't get along with him, and even though he stopped being my friend over some stupid shit, the boxing librarian as well. I got to give him props. I'm very unbiased. He knows his
shit inside and out, man.
Exactly. Enough respect to the boxing librarian. Even though he stopped being my friend because he tried to be down with the LDBC back in the days. I'm talking about back then. You know, it really doesn't matter. He held it up too. And peace to my man, Tito Garcia, rest in peace, the king of the roast videos. You know what I'm saying? He was the first one, and he's passed. Peace to him too. Motherfuckers who are keeping it real, the Red Glove Militant, all of you guys, my man Stop Lying, who hasn't dropped for quite a while as well. You know what I'm saying? Guys that are keeping it boxing, guys that talk boxing. Jesus Christ, you guys have to understand, man. You guys have to fucking understand that boxing is not just a sport. It's a fucking tradition. This was passed down to me from my grandfather, who could have been passed down from his father, my great-great-grandfather. This is passed down from my grandfather to my father, to me, to my son. For Christ's sake, guys, are you guys not doing the same? Is boxing still not boxing? If baseball is still baseball? If football is still football? Why the fuck can boxing still not be boxing? Exactly. Why does there have to be stipulations? Why does there have to be one face in boxing? There is no such thing as one face in boxing. You know why? Because there is not one face in football. There is not one. Every era has its own face to the sport, you stupid sons of bitches. Do you not understand this? Wilder, Mayweather, Errol Spence Jr., all the guys that you're trying to push in front, from the skin politics to every fucking propaganda you're trying to staple it onto, it's not going to work, for Christ's sake. If Willie Pep, if Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, any of the Fabulous Four, if they're not stapled as a main face in boxing, then what the fuck makes you think guys in this era who are doing a third of what these fucking greats did, how are you going to get upset?
Benny Leonard.
Exactly. Harry Greb. Any of them who have put in the work. Carmen Basilio. I mean, the guy who fought the mob handily with his hands. Get the fuck out of here. And you guys mean to tell me that these guys in this era are better than these fucking greats? You guys can go suck a whole bag of silverback cocks. That's right. I said it.
Marcel Cerdan, man. This guy lost to LaMotta, and then he was flying over. And he died in a plane crash because he wanted the rematch.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Hey, Ross Clyde, I would hash things out with the librarian. The problem with him is that he don't want to admit that he stopped being my friend because of Jay Dill. Because Jay Dill tried to tell me, oh, I'm going to stop being your friend since you're talking shit about Andre Ward. And I told him, you know what I'm saying? You know, and he tried to talk about, you know, my beliefs in my creator. And I told him, me and you cannot be friends. You're digging into my religion. Now you're being a leftist. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? And then the boxing librarian stopped being my friend. He first told me, oh, I have nothing to do with that. You know, me and you are cool. Next thing you know, the next day I looked, he blocked me. So this guy, so if he wants to hash it out, if he wants to admit to his fucking wrong, I have no problem. But I am a fucking grown man and I know what I've done. And I've extended the hand. He smacked it out the way and I had to go tell him to go fuck his mother in any fucking position. But otherwise than that, if he wants to hash it out, it's all fucking good. It's all fucking good. I have no problem with it. I'll hash anything out with anybody. I'm just that type of person. Yeah.
I got off on the wrong foot with the librarian myself.
Yeah.
Me and him didn't speak for a good year, man. We were like, I'm a, you'd call an aspiring historian. Some people already call me a historian. Every day, Tommy can even tell you this. I go through newspaper archives constantly from like the early 1900s. I've read articles that the racism is rife from the 1900s, talking about how Jack Johnson, the only person now who can stop him for the American people, is Sam Langford and shit like that. You know what I mean, mate? And when I came in onto his channel, like, I was new into the YouTube boxing community, and I talked with everybody, right? Everybody, because I didn't know shit about the YouTube boxing community. I talked to people from the LBC, I talked to people from the YTBC, I talked to people from everywhere. You name it, it didn't matter to me. I was on every fucking place constantly. I didn't care because I didn't know what YouTube was or what the boxing community was at the time.
Right.
And he ended up just blocking me because he knew that I had talked with LBBC people on their channels. And I had been watching him for a good 2 years at that point. But I didn't really watch any of the political stuff. It was just the record videos. Anyway, he blocked me. About recently, like about 2 months ago, I approached him myself. And I was like, here, mate, I think we had a very big miscommunication. And we sat down and we ended up speaking. Now I'm speaking to the guy regularly. And I don't know what happened between you guys. You said, like, you insulted your religion. That's not kosher. Just like right now, you pretty much insulted his mother. Also not kosher. You know what I mean? There's obviously animosity there. If anything were to be hashed out, it would need to come from both people, because when I approached him, yeah.
Yeah.
He needed to get over his fucking animosity towards me in that standpoint.
Right.
And if there is a situation where he wronged you, I would encourage him personally. And if he does listen to this video, we talk quite regularly every now and then, me and him. If he does listen to this video, which he probably will, because he does go on to a lot of videos, you know that yourself, speaking to him in the past. I'd urge him to talk to you, and the two of you can just hash anything out. And if it doesn't go well, it doesn't go well.
Yeah.
But by no means have either of you got anything to lose. Sure, you said something about his mum just now, like he should go fuck his mother. I'm sure that's just because, like, people get pissed off. People get pissed off with this type of shit. It's drama. But at the end of the day, like, both of you guys could sit down, and if you can't come to any fruition, you know, it stays how it is.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why I told him that was because after 4 times reaching out to him and hashing it out as a man, I felt disrespected. So since I couldn't physically choke the motherfucker at the time that I felt that way about him, you know, I said, you know what, I'm gonna insult him. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Which is basically what we do here, you know. So I mean, like I said, I'm willing to hash it out with him. I'm willing to talk to him, but he has to understand you had no reason to stop being my friend over somebody else's bullshit now. That's like, look, that's just like me and Tommy having a little argument, and then you decide on Rival to say, you know what, since Tommy's not talking to him, I'm not talking to him. And then you don't even let me know. As a pussy, you just block me, unfriend me. And then when I'm trying to get in touch with you, I can't. That's what happened. You see?
I'll tell you now. If anyone ever wants to talk to me, it's very simple.
Right.
Message me.
Yeah.
I just want to second that. I mean, Unrival's knowledge is just off the charts. For someone who's like in their 20s, his knowledge is like someone who's twice that age. And the other thing I want to say is everybody is passionate about this sport, and I've been guilty of this myself. I've got my handbag out and I've started throwing it around, but we have to realize it's only a sport,
right?
You know, and opinions differ.
It's not, Tommy.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly.
It's a tradition. It's a tradition.
Yes, like it's yes, like I have to agree with Unrival. Like, okay, sometimes when we're talking on it, I have to agree. I have to agree with Tommy that sometimes we have to just take it as a sport. But now when they say the wrong things, when they start downing the legends, when they start putting these fucking fruitcakes, you know what I'm saying, in front of meat and potatoes, you know, you've got to stand up for them. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, you do. But I mean, what I'm trying to say is you got to do your best to educate the ignorant. Now, if they don't want to take it, that's up to them. But that's the best that you can do, is to show them the way. And if they don't want to walk the path, then that's up to them.
Right.
That's some scripture stuff, man. Love that stuff.
Nah, but you make a lot of sense, man. I'm about to invite a very special guest It's been a long time overdue, and we've got to welcome him to the panel, and he shall be with us shortly. And it's going to be my man. It's going to be my man, Tony's Reviews. I'm just trying to get his I'm trying to get his email address here. Give me 1 second, Tony. I got you. But you guys are absolutely positively correct with what you're saying. You know, I mean, shit is crazy, bro. Shit is to a point where you've got to look at things like, okay, what the fuck are you guys doing as to other guys? You know, when they start, putting shit out there and trying to disrespect a lot of motherfuckers who, like, let's just say, oh, it's okay for Wilder to say he's better than Mike Tyson, even though we know he's wrong, even though he's way off, because he's the one in there throwing hands. Now, for fight fans to agree with it wholeheartedly, without doing any research, just going off verbatim, now that right there, that's the problem. That's the problem.
But let me ask you guys a question. When someone says someone is better than someone else, what are they saying? They're a more effective fighter, or they're just greater? What do they mean by better?
They just better all around.
You'd need to ask. You'd need to ask that motherfucker.
Well, I mean, they do state it. They do state it. Like exactly what the fighter is saying, they say verbatim. Like Wilder said, "I'm better than Mike Tyson. I'm better than he is." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what he said. So now these guys are running with that, and they agree with that. You see, and that's what I mean.
The other thing I don't like what a lot of casuals do is they'll make a statement, and at the end they'll put facts. Just because you have an opinion doesn't make it a fact.
Right. Exactly.
Yes, it's true. And Tommy, you've heard my arguments with the fact shit in the past.
Oh yeah.
And how I describe a fact and an opinion. And this is why I don't go on to like Batty Faggot trying to box TV or Best Fight the Best or whatever he wants to call himself. Is pretty much because whenever I've gone on there in the past, it's the most boring show he has, because whenever he says the word fact, I'm like, no, you've changed your opinion. Show me evidence. And he's like, he won't. He's like, I'm telling you. And I'm like, well, I prefer you to show me.
Right.
I'm not going to sit here and have you tell me it's a fact. I don't know who you are. You could be a sociopath for all I know. Can you give me some evidence, please? And then I will completely support you. Otherwise, you're going to take an L on this one. And he just stops talking.
Right.
Because you can't use the word fact. Look, here's an opinion, yeah? Muhammad Ali, in my opinion, is the greatest heavyweight of all time, right?
Right.
It's my opinion. If I say fact, Muhammad Ali is the greatest heavyweight of all time, it's not a fucking fact. I can't prove it. I can just back up my arguments and get people to agree with my opinion. However, here's a fact. Muhammad Ali beat George Foreman. That's a fact.
Right.
That is a fact, yeah.
Yep. That is a fucking major fact.
And he's the only guy to knock him out.
Fact. I mean, if you think about it, I can tell you the greatest fighter of all time to never hold a world championship is Sam Langford. That's my opinion. Right?
Right.
It's not a fact. It's not a fact. It's very close to being fair enough. Very hard to argue.
Very strong argument, yes.
Massively strong argument. But if someone says, well, it's not a fact, I can't win that argument.
You can't.
All I can do is pretty much have the better choice of opinions at the best. And that doesn't even matter, truthfully. Because my opinion over someone else's. Like, for example, the other day, Jay, you were talking about Manny Pacquiao. People saying, oh, Manny Pacquiao is on steroids. In your opinion.
Right.
Factually, he has never been busted. That's a fact.
Right.
You can't win the argument. You can say, well, in my opinion, look, his head's gotten bigger, his calves have gotten bigger through the years. I don't care. That can happen, especially with Asian people. Asian people's heads grow as they go older. They do. They get massive. My missus,
you told me that, Jedi.
My missus, her head, she's 28, right? Her head's grown since she was 20. Her mum's head's massive.
Yeah, my
mum's head is absolutely fucking extraordinarily huge, man.
My ex wife is Japanese, and so is my daughter. And and like I said, snapping on them or anything, but you know, Asians have, you know, big skulls, man. You know, it dates back from the Mayans and everyone else that was on that side. You know, I mean, it's just the way it is. You know what I mean? It's just the way it
They
is.
also
And
contain more fluid around their skulls over time.
yes, yes,
I don't know what it is, but genetically, the fluid the fluid retention in the brain, it stays there more than the average white person or black person. That's why they tend to live longer, I think, because they have more fluid and oxygen circulating to their brain.
right, right, right. You know, it's just the things that these people say. You know, a lot of them, a lot of them don't really you know, don't think before they talk. You know, they don't think before they talk, so they just go verbatim by what anybody says. You know.
Mm.
Can I just make a point that, sorry, McGregor, quick one, that nobody really uses objective language anymore. It's always subjective language when it comes to talking about things.
Right.
And now, obviously, I'm generalizing when I say nobody, but you just look at the type of language that people are using when they're promoting certain fighters or even certain channels. They state everything like it's a fact rather than it's a strong argument or opinion. I'm kind of going over the same point, but I'm just kind of saying that it's the type of words that people use now. It's not even accurate.
Right. Exactly. I'd like to welcome my man Tony's reviews from the panel. On the panel, say what's up, everybody. What's up, Tony?
How's it going, man?
Chilling, brother. Chilling,
What's up,
man.
Tony?
Whoop whoop! Nice picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I look like.
Is
So
that
when are you
during
gonna
the
get
week or
into?
just weekends?
he said, it's yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Wait.
ma'am. This is what I look like when I go to the club.
So when are you gonna get into the ring with Golden Showers and fight Patricio, bro? Nobody gets that joke.
No.
No?
Oh, I said
Dude.
the transgender boxer. I got it. Oh shit. And what's funny is I was just talking about that, man. I was just talking about that shit, man. Guys, can you respect that coming from Golden Showers?
I can't respect that in any capacity. One, because first of all, it's technically a female in the ring with a belt, and secondly, to get to that level of, I suppose you can use the word nail them if you want to. I don't fucking know. That's some weird ass shit. But
Yeah.
the amount of testosterone in your body is performance enhancement drugs.
Yeah,
Shouldn't be
that's
sanctioned.
Agreed. That's a very good point. Very
yeah.
good point.
Yeah.
It's the same in powerlifting. You get a transgender powerlifter in the female division. It is going to be lifting much better than all the other females because the extra testosterone.
That's a dude against females, of course.
Well, dude masquerading then as a chick.
Well, the thing that gets me about the transgender athletes, and not to get your channel in trouble, is the fact that most of them start off in male sports, fell at it, then they go into female sports.
Yeah, well,
That's
listen,
the issue
Tony,
I
hold on, Tony. You ain't never got to worry about crossing lines here on my channel because I don't monetize. So curse the fuck away, speak how you want, brother. I don't give a shit. You don't call it a disability. I don't care, brother. It's all yours. The floor is always yours. I will never limit anyone, my brother. Just to let you know, love is love. Go ahead, brother. Sorry.
No, I was just saying though that a lot of the transgenders, what I disagree with is they start off in male sports, and then when they fail at it, they convert over to the female sports and dominate. That's the issue.
Yup. The motherfucker's like, it's a little too hard here for my real gender, so I'm gonna have to go and beat a woman. Yeah. You're absolutely right, man. And I listen, that it's all a psychological thing with this thing. You know, really, if you really look at it, I mean, look, I'm not disrespecting any transformers. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I'm just saying, if you're a man and you've got to get augmentated titties put on your chest, and you get your penis cut and it's now slit into a fucking vagina, right? And you got your hair transplanted and all this other bullshit, and you're getting shots. And I mean, do you see any other woman doing this in order to stay a woman? No. So then what would you call this? You see, this is what I don't, especially in sports. Now, in MMA, these motherfuckers, everybody should be in jail. There's this transgender that already cracked 2 fucking women's skulls. Okay, they needed staples. One was in a coma. I mean, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, and the argument is, see, my degree is in biomedical, so I'm a biology major. And the thing is, what they try to argue is testosterone, testosterone, testosterone. So they take suppressors and female hormones to neutralize that. But it's deeper than that, because you got to understand, a male genetically is built top heavy.
Hold on. I got to give you an interest for this one, my brother. I'm sorry. Everybody's about to get schooled by Tony's reviews. God damn it. Go ahead, bro.
No, I'm just saying though, like genetically, a man is built to be stronger. He's got more pectoral muscles as far as upper body goes. Normally, body ratio, women have larger legs to body than men do, whereas men carry most of the weight up top. But the thing is, it's not just testosterone. It's muscle density, bone density. It's how the tendons and ligaments are strung up to the muscle. Because a lot of people don't understand. Like, a lot of people get strong in the gym, and then you'll see like people on steroids blow out their pectoral muscles or they blow out their biceps. It's because the tendons and the ligaments haven't built that strength to be able to push that amount of weight. So you'll actually see the muscles separate from the bone.
Right.
So men have stronger tendons and ligaments than females do naturally. So all that comes into play when you're doing like fast twitch things like throwing punches, tackling somebody, doing a quick burst of anything. Tendons and ligaments are actually just as important as muscles when it comes to strength. And they don't even get into like the human biology part that really separates people outside of the hormones. It makes no difference.
Right. Exactly.
And also, to go on top of that, if I may, we also produce more blood cells than women do.
Yeah.
For oxygen purposes.
Yeah, like red blood cells. Yeah.
And even slightly more white blood cells. Which is also why you see more men getting diagnosed with leukemia than women.
Yes, sir. And it's just not fair, man. It's just not fair. You got dudes literally beating the shit out of women in wigs.
Well, my thing is this. I have no problem with anybody wanting to do whatever they want to do with their body. That's cool. Whatever. But here's the thing. If a trans woman really became a woman, then why don't we see trans men in men's sports? You just don't see women becoming men competing in any men's sport and being competitive.
Well, we've seen it recently with Patricio.
Who?
We've seen it with Patricio recently, the transgender male with Golden Shows. This was a woman who became a male.
Yeah.
I have to look her up. I don't know. Say her name?
Patricio something. Just look up Patricio transgender male boxer. And had a pro fight under Golden Boy not too long ago. Jail, remember that himself. That was causing massive controversy, man. Massive controversy. And I want to give a shout out, a brief shout out, if I may, to my girlfriend. I know she's actually listening because I gave her a link. She had her first amateur fight, and she was fighting against a transgender female who went from male to female. She had her first amateur fight. I was training her for the fight, and she won the fight. So,
okay, so
I'm proud of her.
So here's the thing, though. All right.
Yeah.
When you look at men versus women, right, you have women who can compete with men. It's not the average you need to look at. It's the extreme, the top end, your Usain Bolts, your Ronnie Coleman's versus your, if you want to go boxing, your Lucia Rikers, who got beat by a man who was mid-tier at best. And Lucia Riker, in my opinion, is the best female to ever box or fight in general.
Right.
But it's the extremes that you have to look at. So for a first professional fight, there's no doubt that she can't beat a mid to low level man. The issue is when this transgender male steps up in competition and now is fighting world level, then you're going to really see the difference.
Right.
That's the thing. It means nothing for a female to go beat an average Joe or a mid to no good boxer. What's going to happen when she's actually against competition? Because look at it like this. I give you a prime example. Use Kimbo Slice in MMA. He was tearing people up in the backyard. Went into MMA, got beat by people who were only 200 pounds. Then on top of it, he went into boxing after the fact and won all his fights. Why did he win all of his fights in boxing and not MMA? Because in boxing, he was fighting tomato cans. Yep. So, you know, with boxing, unfortunately, you have the Deontay Wilder factor where you can puff your record and those wins are really irrelevant.
Right. Phantom wins. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, but wasn't Kimbo juiced to the gills?
Well, here's my thing. Everybody wants to bring up PEDs, steroids, and all of that. In my opinion, when you get to a top tier level, all of them are on some form of something elite.
Yeah,
There's not one fighter, one athlete in any sport who's making millions of dollars that's not on some type of PED outside of competition. That's just the fact. Because the stress that you put your body through to compete, and not just compete, but it's the recovery that you need. It's constantly breaking down your body. The body just, especially as you go up in age, doesn't repair the same. So steroids are like a sensu bean. You know, you take it, and what would take you 3 or 4 days to get over, you're back normal in like 12 hours.
Right.
So I believe all athletes to some degree are taking some form of something illegal. But you know, steroids itself doesn't make you know how to fight. I'm pretty sure just because
it doesn't, but it makes you stronger and more resilient, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. Hey guys, give me a second. You guys can keep talking. I'll be right back. Go ahead. Keep talking about that. And then the question I want to leave you guys with real fast before I come back is, does and even in the chat, anybody think steroids makes you fight better, or do you just think that it just hardens you up in order to gain more punishment?
Jedi, can we use any PEDs like EPO, not just testosterone?
You said PEDs.
Anything that's PEDs. Go ahead, brother. I'll be right back.
Will I start with this?
Well, yeah, go on.
From personal experience, no, it doesn't make you fight better. It gives you an advantage to be able to train better, to fight better.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to fight ever again. Unfortunately. Won't get into the reasons why, but I'll be honest. I've taken some PEDs in the past. I've taken clenbuterol to weight cut to get myself down when I was fighting at heavyweight in the amateurs, or 200 pounds. I've taken D-ball for muscle definition. I've taken a little bit of HGH in the past. Didn't like it. I've taken some testosterone. One thing that I used to swear by when I was younger, this was specifically when I was younger, was EPO. EPO was one of the greatest things you can imagine to be able to learn how to train, or just train in general to be able to get more out there. And anybody who wants to know this, if you're a boxer who's planning to turn pro, if you're in a gym, you're being offered steroids on a daily basis. And at the elite level, it's rife. I know this. I've been in training camps with elite level pros. I'm not going to say who. And I've seen them inject HGH. I've seen them use EPO. I've seen them on clenbuterol. I've seen them on, you name it. I've seen Xylophone. I've seen it in every aspect. I've seen guys who are currently world champions take these drugs.
And see, I'm glad you brought up EPO and clenbuterol, because clenbuterol is a bronchodilator. So therefore, when you breathe, you can take in more oxygen. So you have more oxygenate. I would say stuff like EPO, clenbuterol is actually will help you fight better than steroids will, because it makes your endurance go through the roof. So if you don't get tired and the other guy does, now you're at a huge advantage, because you could be the best fighter in the world, but once you get tired, somebody with no skills can dust you. If you can't defend yourself, if you can't throw punches and you're exhausted, that's why, like, since you said you box, that's why they do like round robins. So every round you're fighting somebody fresh while you're getting tireder and tireder. And that last person in the 12th round, your 12th opponent, you might be way worse than you, and they're going to school you because you're so exhausted that you can't keep up with a fresh body. So I would say stuff like EPO, clenbuterol. If you blood dope, or you freeze your blood, take it out the freezer, re-inject it into your body, that will help you a lot more than testosterone ever would.
Right.
Now,
most definitely.
And I agree. I've seen professionals, I won't call out no names, whenever I used to box, shoot up in the gym. I've seen coaches and trainers give it to their fighters. Yes. So, you know, it's very rampant, and people don't understand that you don't even get testing for that until you make it to a world level. Whenever you're just turning pro, which is basically still amateurish, just without the headgear and big gloves, there's no testing in that. All they test you for is like PCP, cocaine. You know, it's just straight drug testing. It ain't no steroid testing because that shit
recreational
costs too
stuff.
much.
The only time I was ever seriously tested, like a blood test, was when I was representing country at national level and the European state youth level, right? And they give you, this is no joke, they give you a 9-month notice of when that test is. Either
9 months.
9 months. So I literally was
warning.
able to cycle off.
Yeah, I mean, and then it all depends on too. If you're taking like testosterone, it depends on what base you're doing. If you're doing water base, that shit is in and out of your system within 12 hours. If you're doing oil base, then you're gonna have issues because it's gonna linger in your system for about a week to 2 weeks because of the half-life. But your body absorbs, water a lot quicker than it does oil. That's why the half-life is so much shorter on anything that's water-based. So I mean, you can literally, like you said, if you have warning, you could cycle off of it and then pass the testing with no problem. And you're really not going to be affected during the training camp because you might lose 5 to 10% of whatever you gained, but you're still 90%, 95% better than you were before you were on it.
Right.
But I do agree. It doesn't matter how much steroids you take. It won't help you fight. It'll just enhance your durability and power in singular punches,
and as well as taking punishment, because you can't fucking feel anything behind it. I mean, I like I said, I fought a couple of dudes who were on fucking spike, and motherfuckers couldn't really they couldn't really fight, but they took a lot of punches, bro. I'm talking about they had contusions, and these motherfuckers kept going forward. And that bleeding out myth, it's a lie, bro. That once that shit's in your bloodstream, kid, that shit's in your bone, you can bleed it out all you want. And if you're on that shit, you're still gonna have it in your system, man. You know?
And let's not forget that testosterone can make you meaner for longer in terms of your mindset.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm 45 and I have to take testosterone boosters, because sometimes, you wake up low energy, you know what I mean? Sometimes, you lag and shit. So a guy my age who's past 35, and that's gonna happen to anybody who's past 35, you might have to take testosterone boosters and shit. That's legal. See, that there is legal. But when you're competing, using it in the sport and shit, man, that's a no-no, man. What's
a testosterone booster? What exactly do you mean?
Well, what it does is it pushes whatever testosterone you have left in your bodies, and it just basically like an activator. It activates them and it pushes it out, giving you more energy. It would do the same. Yeah.
What's in it?
I have to take a look at it. It's legal though. It's very legal. It's by Joe Weider. It's a Joe Weider testosterone booster. It's legal, you know what I mean? But these guys can't use this shit. Like professional athletes, all these substances, these are all on the ban list simply because they do help you. I mean, imagine somebody with a testosterone booster. Ross Clot, what's going on, brother? Welcome, Ross Clot 222 on the panel.
Yes, Ross.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
What's up,
everybody? What's up, Rival? What's up, Tony?
I'm watching.
What's up, Tommy?
What's going on?
Give me a second, y'all. I'm gonna mute myself. Give me a second.
All right, do your thing, brother. So it's like, all that shit is on the back. Even fucking NOS, which is nitrous oxide.
Nitrous oxide, yeah.
Yeah, that shit is on the ban list because it helps repair. It gives you
a
pump.
Creatine on the ban list?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
it is. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now
it depends. It depends on which ban list. If you're going through WHYTE, let's say a UCAD, they mostly adhere to WHYTE, right? Creatine isn't on the ban list for UCAD, even though they adhere to WHYTE. So it really depends, and it also depends on the state. It's also about state athletic commissions, because some state athletic commissions, they have their own set policies, so they'll like New York State Athletic Commission, it banned creatine's banned.
Right.
But California State Athletic Commission, it's not. So they can
Jedi.
pretty much write off.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. What's up, Tommy?
There's two minerals and one vitamin that you should look at. Zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D3 all help elevate natural testosterone levels.
Nice. I'm gonna have to look into
Yeah.
that.
Tommy is right. I take all of that.
Good man. But I bet you're not old like us.
Yep, every night.
How old are you, Rosclad?
Huh?
How old are you?
Say it again.
What's your age?
I'm the same age as Kato.
Oh, are you? You sound well young.
Nah, I'm the same age
I'm
as Kato.
41.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Fucking. Hey, Joe. I just want to let you know that testosterone level drop of 2 to 3% after the age of 30. I tell you right now, it's a huge difference, brother. It's a huge difference because trying to get up in the morning, and then let's just say if you worked your ass off and you've got that pain, you know, like you don't recover as fast as you did when you were 25, 30, 32. You know, when you're 45, bro, you feel that shit for like a good 2, 3 fucking days, 5 days, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, that shit is no joke, man. That shit is definitely no joke, man. Especially if you're weightlifting, like you get like, see, this is what's the only good advantage when you start weightlift at after 35. You gain muscle quickly. You get pumped faster. I mean, shit, I gained so much muscle when I start weightlifting real fast. I get swole, right? And it stays on you. The thing is the pain. The motherfucking pain, son. Like
That's why I don't lift weights.
Yeah, yeah, my bad.
No, that's why I don't lift weights. Cause I feel the opposite. Since I'm older,
Yeah.
I don't lift any weights. I do everything body weight. It just feels better for me.
Yeah.
It's less stress as well on the body, using body weight.
Oh yeah, it's just even calisthenics, man. That shit hurt my joints, kid. I'm like, I'm waking up in the morning. I feel like a fucking overstretched rubber band and shit. I'm like, oh my god. Then when you take the shower, it alleviates it for that time being. Then when you get out, it just comes right the fuck back. So what do you try to do? You try to recover. Man, them shits don't work for me at this age, man. Like it takes a while. It takes a long time. This is what I'm saying. Like, guys, if you've competed before and you feel low in your testosterone and shit, man, make sure you eat a lot of bananas and supplement.
The stuff.
Has anybody tried intermittent fasting?
What is that?
Yeah, I do every day.
Yeah, because that boosts your testosterone and your growth hormone levels as well. If you do it right.
Yep.
Do you know what also?
Yeah, I do intermittent fasting all the time.
Good man.
Do you know what also boosts natural testosterone levels?
Sleep.
Sleep, yeah. But also,
sleep.
Yeah, when you 90%. Wake up in the morning and you go outside just before the sun comes up. And as the sun comes up,
that.
Yeah, the sun will naturally boost your testosterone.
And I'll tell you something else that actually boosts your testosterone, right? Do you know when? Do you remember when Arnie was in his days and he used to do the posing in front of the mirror?
Yeah.
Apparently, that raises your testosterone as well.
Oh wow!
Well, I mean, that might for him. I mean, for me.
No. Seriously, it's called posturing. It's part of an adaptive response that we all have hardwired into us.
Well, I've had my testosterone levels raised by my girl just fucking posing in front of me.
Right.
Believe it or not, but if you live in a volatile environment, that will also raise your test. Your body naturally is a self-defense mechanism will increase its own natural testosterone, whether you're in a volatile situation where, say, you think your life's at risk, or like prison, or if you're constantly in competition, your body will naturally do it too. Is a defense.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, we got to be on point. More testosterone. Hell yeah. Yeah, man.
Squats raise testosterone.
Yeah. Your thighs,
biggest muscle group, isn't it?
Oh yeah. You know what else raises the testosterone? A good-looking woman scrolling across the fucking room.
Jedi, have you ever tried? It's what's called contrast hydrotherapy. It's basically hot and cold showers with really far extremes.
Yes,
That's
sir.
brilliant for recovery.
Well, I have to do that because I have osteoarthritis. So
Oh
usually
shit!
when I get a flare up from my, because this is from my old kickboxing career. I got it on my neck, got it on my hands, and I definitely got it on my hips and on my knees. So I have to go extreme heat when I get a flare up, and then the heat brings the swelling down, and then in order for it to cool down, I have to take a really, really cold, I mean, no hot whatsoever, cold shower. So I know exactly what that is, brother, and that repairs. It does repair. He is correct
Gotcha.
on that. It does heat. The heat and the cold, especially water. Water is the number one base of healing, guys. I don't care who you are. You got a bruise, first heat, and then the cold. It's always been like that. Always been like that. That is the number one healing factor. You're absolutely right, my bro.
Yeah, it's just getting rid of that inflammation. That's the main thing that causes the body to get sick, deteriorate, is inflammation.
Yep. And I got my arthritis from, wear and tear. Like, I retired 36-0, never got a strap because motherfuckers ducked me, never got a draw. You know what I mean? Knocked all of my opponents out. So it's like, after a while, I never used my legs for kicking. I only used my legs for maybe a front kick to keep them at distance because I was always with the boxing. See, over there in Thailand, they're not very good with the hands. They're good with their legs, though. These guys got fucking brick legs. Like, these guys would kick a fucking tree down with 2 swipes. You know what I mean? So, blocking that, blocking those kicks in order for me to get my hands into my entrance, into, in order to touch my opponent, my legs were just used as bags. So this is exactly why my hips are fucked up, and this happens, man. Arthritis happens from impact. A lot of fighters right now who are like Sugar Ray Leonard, he's got arthritis in his hands, he's got arthritis in his neck. When you get arthritis in your neck, let me tell you guys something. That comes from either, like in my case, from the clinching of kickboxing, pulling your neck down and you resisting and pulling all of those little ligaments and all that shit. That comes from that. That also comes from boxing, from you getting your head pushed back or receiving jabs or just getting punched. You know what I'm saying? Your neck going back against his own will. You know what I mean? That arthritis happens to athletes, man.
Yeah. My injuries is my wrist from hitting the heavy bag. I messed up my wrist a lot. My elbows and my knees from doing a lot of jogging.
Right.
All of that messed me up. High impact.
High impact fucking, yeah.
But for people that's like older, and this is why I tell people all the time, people always ask me, how do I do all my exercises the way I do? It's because I never stopped.
Right.
You know what I mean? I kept doing what I'm doing. So like, even now, if I can't box a person in the gym right now, none of those young guys. I probably be, but I that's my age. They don't have a room for it.
Hey, bro, you're going all Matrix. We can't hear you.
Yeah, you went Matrix. Repeat that again, my brother. Ross Cloud, repeat that again, my brother.
Yeah, it lost up here.
It's all right.
Maybe if Rosclot turns off his camera, his reception might improve.
Yeah, Ross Cloud, turn your camera off. Maybe your reception may improve. If you can hear us. If not, come right back on the chat, brother. You need it. Yeah, man. That like I said, man, that shit, a lot of injuries. I know a lot of fighters who have water in their knees, a lot of Muay Thai fighters who has water in their knees and shit. And but I tell you right now, last time I went to the gym was about 2 months ago, and I gave these young motherfuckers a run for their money because I could fight. You know what I mean? And I tell you right now, this is what I mean. Bro, for a whole week, bro, I felt the arm that I used for my jab. I felt the whole shoulder blade, the whole forearm, the whole fit, everything hurt for like a good fucking 3 to 4 days, bro. Like I should have been recovered too. That's what I mean. Like when you get older, your recovery time is slower. You know what I mean? You recover, but it's slower.
Yeah, that's why like older fighters tend not to be able to fare so well against younger ones.
Right.
So because the thing is, you can have an older guy who's more experienced, who's just the better boxer, but every time the older man gets hit, his body's not recuperating, whereas the younger guy's getting popped and he's insta healing. So that's why a lot of times you see better older fighters lose to younger guys is because that durability is gone and they're not healing at the same rate.
Correct. And I'm glad you brought that up, Tony. Much love, kid. Let's talk about this Pacquiao Thurman, because that's a nice little example that you set there. And I would like to know, because personally I
got Manny.
Yeah, I got Manny. I got Manny all the way. I don't think that Thurman has the right dance steps to get in the ring with. I mean, Thurman has never seen a Pacquiao, and he's talking about Pacquiao rushes in and all this stuff. Listen, Pacquiao does not just rush in. Pacquiao has many entrances, and when I mean entrances, I'm not talking about walking down the aisle or no. Manny Pacquiao has jab entrances. Manny Pacquiao has combo entrances in order to get to you. And Manny Pacquiao is the vet. And I'm telling you, these guys right now, man. I wish Thurman luck, but him nor anyone else after that, except for Terrence Crawford, is going to get past Pacquiao, man. You guys can bank on his age if you like, but he's not ready to go just yet. He's not ready to go just yet.
Well, see, I know you're a huge Manny fan from listening to you randomly, and here's the thing.
Well, it's also because I'm an old timer, and I've seen old timers come back. Like from George Foreman to B-Hop to Roy Jones Jr., come back and whoop these young guys' asses because they haven't been fighting enough, hard enough, so that's the only reason why I say it.
Yeah, and I was about to bring that up. With Thurman, you have a huge issue with him, just disregarding his last fight where he didn't look great, is that he had so much inactivity due to injury that sometimes when fighters are out of the ring, they just, for whatever reason, even if it's only 2 years, they never come back the same. I don't know why that happens.
Yeah.
But sometimes when they step away, they just can't come back like they once were. And the only thing with Thurman also likes to come forward, and he also likes to fight in the pocket. So I feel that will play to Manny's strengths. Now, where you might disagree with me on, and I did an analysis a long time ago for the Manny Mayweather fight, and I said Mayweather was going to beat him with ease.
Yeah.
Manny has a shortcoming that he's never addressed. If Thurman runs from Manny, in other words, fights him on the outside and uses circle tactics around Manny, that's where Manny has a lot of issues. He doesn't really know how to cut off the ring. And that's what Mayweather exploited on Manny. But I don't see Thurman doing that. Thurman's not a sniper that's going to sit in the outside. So I think Thurman is going to play to all of Pacquiao's strengths. And with Thurman being so inactive, I think Pacquiao has a very good shot at beating him.
Right. Unrivaled, you have anything?
Go ahead.
Yeah, do you have anything?
Anything what to add to that?
Yes, sir.
I think that's quite honest. To be honest, Pacquiao does have a lack of, I don't know whether it's understanding on how to do that, but I've never seen him be able to truly close the ring off against somebody who runs around in circles. I've never been able to see him do it, especially in those short patterns like Floyd did. And if someone possesses a pull counter, they're able to keep him at bay. But I feel like Keith isn't as fast on his feet as he was, so Pacquiao may be able to cut the ring off against him. If this was 2 years ago, I've said this, if this is 2 years ago, I would have been favoring Keith, but it's not.
Right.
And Keith's more domesticated than he used to be.
Right.
You need some level of balls to be able to do that with Manny, because there's going to be times when it's going to get tough and you're going to be in a corner.
Right.
And I don't think he has the same set of balls that he had 2 years ago.
Yeah, no, not at all. Yeah, he's been showing that he's scared to fucking get hit, especially going up against Josecito Lopez. Ross Clot, anything?
Yeah, I just like to say I think Manny Pacquiao has slowed down. His footwork, his feet is slow, but he's still got fast hands, and he's still faster than these fighters today. And on the flip side, Keith Thurman has been on a long layoff. He looked like crap in his last fight. I truly believe that his injury wasn't as bad as he says it was. I think he tried to pull a Floyd Mayweather and try to take a break and let everybody fight each other. The problem is everyone's not fighting each other today, so he has to come in and fight. Right. And I think Manny Pacquiao is just going to beat him. Is just going to outbox him. I think once he feels the power, just like everybody else, just like pussy ass Floyd, they're gonna start running. And just in my opinion, to get back to what Tony said, in my opinion, Floyd Mayweather didn't beat Manny Pacquiao with ease. That he was running, and because he felt the power in the fourth round, and in the fifth round he got on his bicycle.
He got on his Huffy. Tommy Temper. Anything?
For me, Manny's what, 41? We'll just have to see what Manny Pacquiao turns up, because at some point he is going to get old and he's going to be fighting guys that are maybe just above his ability.
Right.
It's going to be a competitive fight. I think Manny's best chance is to beat the fuck out of Thurman's body, slow him down, and then he can possibly get him out of there. But for me, it all depends on which Manny turns up. And if Manny has, I mean, how many times can he go to the well before the well's dry, you know?
Right. Well, I see it like, and great assessment, Tommy. Great assessment, Tony. Unrivaled, Rosklat. But now let's talk the logical side here. Let's talk some sense. Let's educate the masses here, okay? Now, when we talk about inactivity and we talk about experience, regardless, Manny Pacquiao has slowed down. Manny Pacquiao has been in the ring with the best of them, and I'm talking 8 divisions here. A lot of people like to cut it short and call it 7, but it's really 8 fucking divisions. It's in the books. It's in the history books. It's in the record books. So it's 8 divisions. Now, Manny Pacquiao has seen all of these young guys' style. This guy has been to war with the best of them. A lot of guys like to bring up the Juan Manuel Marquez knockout. Manny Pacquiao has learned from that not to rush in the way he did. He's been successful ever since. He's got robbed from the Horn fight. We all can agree with this. Now, the common sense I'm speaking here is the experience level that Manny Pacquiao brings to this era compared to these guys who are insufficient to themselves, insufficient to the sport, and don't fight correctly as to fighting the guys that they're supposed to fight. The only guy that has fought tough competition within PBC are 2 guys, and that's Sean Porter, because he fought Keith Thurman, okay, and Keith Thurman because he fought Sean Porter. And also Sean Porter has fought other guys as well. So those are the only 2. But going back to Thurman and Pacquiao, I think that Manny Pacquiao's experience is what beats all. It's not even the physicality. It's just the trap set and the whole veteran status that Manny Pacquiao has is exactly what beats all of these guys except for Terence Crawford, because no one can train for an ambidextrous fighter. This has been proven. You know what I'm saying? This is straight facts. Like, you can't train for an ambidextrous fighter unless you're an ambidextrous yourself. So there's going to be a problem with him and Crawford, but with Errol Spence Jr. and everyone else, I don't see Manny Pacquiao having no type of problem with these guys, because these guys are not Claudius. These guys are not Margaritos. These guys are not De La Hoyas. And especially for a Keith Thurman to say that he's going to retire Manny Pacquiao, I mean, this is exactly why I have a big thing with Thurman, because he talks too much and does not show what he's speaking. Ross, anything? Anybody.
I think you brought up a good point when mentioning Porter. You got to understand, Porter is a swarm fighter and a headbutter. But if you watch the Thurman Porter fight when Thurman was at his best, you could argue for either side who won that fight because it was that close. Now, you got to ask yourself, if it gets into a swarm fight like Porter causes against Thurman, is Porter better than Manny in the pocket? And I would say no.
Right.
So off that right there, as long as Pacquiao hasn't got old overnight, that's why I'm saying, like, Thurman can't really talk because he's not an outside fighter. He gets in the pocket. Right. And I see in the pocket where Manny is strongest, where Thurman's gonna go. I just can't see him outboxing Manny, even an old Manny. I just see, like you said, Manny's seen too many looks, been in there with too many fighters, especially with a lot of brawlers.
Right.
So from your Ricky Hattons to all of them, like, it doesn't matter. He's used to seeing that brawling style. So if you get in the pocket with him, you're where he wants you to be. So I don't know, especially, like I said, with the inactivity of Thurman, unless the only way Pacquiao loses in my mind is if Pacquiao gets old overnight, and nobody knows if somebody shows up old till they're in the ring.
That's it.
Right.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yep. I agree, Tony. Unrivaled?
Sorry, yeah, no, I completely agree as well, man. I do completely agree. You never know if a fighter's old or over the hill until you see it. like some people were saying, DeGale was over the hill before he fought against like Eubanks, but he got like a lot older in that fight as well.
Right.
In that specific fight.
Right.
So comes down to a lot of things.
Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any assessment on this?
Other than, I think if Manny wins this fight, I think he should just retire.
I don't. I don't.
Yeah. I have to agree with Tony, man. I want to see Pacquiao. Even though
Pacquiao will beat Earl Spence. Earl Spence is just a standstill target that's there to be hit.
This is exactly
he hits hard.
Spence, because he's a weight bully. He comes in 20 pounds heavier than every guy he fights. But the thing is, look at him against Garcia. He could not hit Garcia for the life of him when Garcia was circling him. And the thing is, Manny, like I said, Earl Spence is a pocket fighter too. He can't fight at range because he can't hit people from range. So he comes forward, but he's so stiff that somebody like Manny that has all those crazy angles in the pocket, I think Manny will dance around him and just pick him apart.
Yeah.
Guys, we don't know what how the fight is going to turn out. Like let's say Manny does win against Keith Thurman, but what if it's a war? Do you know how much that's going to age Manny? Like, I agree with Tommy. I think he should retire after this because his legacy is already solidified. And the last thing we want is some bum like Earl Spence Jr. to have a Manny Pacquiao victory on his resume.
I hear you. But let me tell you something right now. Like I said, it comes to experience. Even though Manny has slowed down a lot, he's still faster. He's still smarter than most of these guys because these guys just aren't active. Manny has been active. And I agree with you, Ross Klein. That is, if it becomes a war, it's going to wear and tear Manny a lot more. But at the same time, these guys are going to be like, look, if he gets into a war with Thurman, Thurman's going to be more hurt than Manny. Manny's already weathered storms. Thurman, this is going to be Thurman's rough and tough heart. Have you seen? Did you take a look at Adrian Broner's face after the fight, bro? Talk about he won, but he looked like fucking Martin and shit after he fought Tommy Hearns, kid. Adrian Broner had the swole face, and that was Manny hardly touching him. Now, if Keith Thurman turns this into a war, it is Thurman that's going to be hurt, and I think Thurman is probably going to retire after this because he's not going to be able to take that. He's not going to be able to take that.
The reason why Manny Pacquiao was still competitive, and this is the honest truth, is because this welterweight division isn't that good. I mean, it just isn't. Can you imagine? There's a 41-year-old. Can you imagine this Pacquiao right now? 41-year-old Manny Pacquiao fighting Tito Trinidad. You think he's going to outbox Tito Trinidad?
Nope.
Think he's going to? He would die against Tito Trinidad.
He would. He definitely would.
Like, there's no way he would beat Sugar Shane Mosley at 41 years old in Mosley prime, like
right.
or Vernon Ford.
He would have.
Vernon Ford.
He wouldn't. But
is black.
But what he would do, because every young fighter is always how do you say over anxious. He'll wait. He'll catch him on their mistake. That's the difference between a vet. And you know what I'm saying? He'll catch him on the mistake.
No, I agree with you. What I mean is, I'm just saying in general. That's the reason why Manny Pacquiao's like, yeah, I'm going to hang around.
Oh yeah,
because he's that good.
Yeah, no,
that's just.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Oh no, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right. I have to agree with you. Yeah, this welterweight division ain't shit right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look. Let's be honest, fellas. Let's be honest. My fellow boxing fucking aficionados on the panel and in the section. In the comment section. Let's be honest with each other here. Let's talk fucking boxing. Okay? Had the welterweight division been the way it was in Manny Pacquiao and Floyd, Pretty Boy Floyd's era, these guys wouldn't have had lasted at all. You had Baldomir, you had fucking Costa Zoo, you had Vernon Forrest, you had motherfucking a prime, a very, very good fucking Sugar Shane Mosley, you had a Sergio Monte. I mean, you had a lot of fucking guys here who were threats that Floyd Mayweather didn't even, that after Oscar De La Hoya, he decided to let, like Ross Clark mentioned, let everybody beat each other up. You know what I'm saying? And that's something where, you know, the fighter took away from himself, you know?
I don't know, though. I don't know. Go ahead. I'll chime in a minute.
Go ahead, Tony. I want you to get your point. I want to hear it.
I was going to say, I don't know how true that is. I will say that nowadays in boxing, especially in the U.S., you see a lot of fighters going to MMA, or if they're bigger, they're going to NBA, NFL, baseball, etc. But I don't know how true that is if fighters couldn't last longer in age, because you got to understand the sports science is so much better now and nutrition is so much better now that people have a lot more longevity because of that aspect. So, you know, when you look at guys who are old in, say, the 70s, by the time they turn 30, you have to take that into account, that they lack the sports science, they lack the understanding of the human body.
I gotta rebuttal. Keep going.
Plus, they were fighting 15 rounds back then.
Yeah.
I'm a rebuttal. Keep going, Tony.
Nah, I mean 15 rounds, of course, but not all fights went 15 rounds. Some fights were over in 2 rounds. But the point I'm trying to make is sports science and nutrition has come such a long way that now guys who are like in their early 30s are considered babies still. And that's why you have guys like Klitschko who made it to 42 years old and were still competitive with the top tier because their bodies can maintain longer nowadays. So it's hard to really say. I will admit that the competition level is not as great, but if you took somebody like Leonard and you gave him today's sports science, he might have been competitive all the way into his early mid 40s. We don't know.
All right, can I rebuttal that?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I agree with you with the sports science, but I have to disagree. The one reason why fighters last longer today is because they're not fighting a lot. Fighters back in the days fought 14, 10, 14 times sometimes in a month. Also another thing today, we got more PEDs. There's more PEDs circling around. It's not so more. I mean, if you want to add PEDs into the science part of it, then yeah. But when we talk about the training and all that is evolved, all of that is evolved, and I still can't pick a boxer today. Maybe 10% that could last 15 rounds. With all this modern training, these guys are stuck in air after the 5th round.
That is true, man. A lot of motherfuckers gas out after the 5th round and they're young as fuck.
Young as fuck. And then another reason why fighters today lose stamina. You know why? You go to any boxing gym right now. Everyone is doing mitt work. No one is spending rounds on the heavy bag. No one is spending rounds jump roping, and no one is sparring 2 or 3 times a week. These guys go to the gym, they spar.
And road work. Nobody's running as much as they should be.
On the concrete, on the fucking grass. Everybody's on this treadmill and got the stupid Darth Vader mask on. That's nothing. If you do, I'm telling you right now, back in the days, they sparred, they hit the heavy bag, they jump rope, and they jog. And then they could last 15 rounds back to back. 15 rounds. I got to fight 15 rounds today. And then guess what? I got another fight lined up next month for 15 rounds. What fighter could do that today?
But this is where I'm talking about talent. Like what you're saying all comes down to talent. Back in the 70s or prior to that, the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, all that was not taking all your best athletes away, because boxing used to be the real estate for the most money you could earn in any sports. Nowadays, only top tier fighters like Canelo, Anthony Joshua make that type of money. A football player, damn near any position, a bench warmer in the NBA can make more money than most boxers. So, you've got guys who are genetically not born to be as good as the guys that of past that are now in boxing. So therefore they get tired faster because they just not built the same, because they were never meant to be to that level, but they can rise to that level because the competition level is much lower. The bar has dropped in boxing. It has not raised. So that's what I'm saying. It is very hard to tell.
Well, I can always tell that fighters of the past would destroy fighters of today simply because of their work ethics in the ring. It doesn't matter if it was 15 rounds, doesn't matter if it was 20. If you want to take it to the 12 rounds where they started the 12 rounds, you still have guys in there that even in a 5th round fight, bro, these guys threw the joints. They were not scared. These guys, even when they had fights that were strategic that went all the way to the 12th, and you didn't get a knockout to like maybe 20 seconds before the round. Like, you know what I mean? Like, huh?
Let me give you a hypothetical question real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
And this might be a stretch to any Floyd Mayweather fanboy, but I'm gonna give y'all a hypothetical question. What if the Ricky Hatton fight with the referees from 1935 was refereeing? How do you think that fight would have went on? Floyd Mayweather against Ricky Hatton, because Floyd Mayweather was in the fight of his life against that little midget. How do you think that fight would have played out with a referee from 1925?
Well, I will.
A referee from 1925.
I think it would have been a much different fight.
Yeah, I will agree.
Honest.
I will agree that
It depends on the referee. It depends on the referee, Rascal.
Yeah, but I just like to point out, I mean, there was too much shit that Floyd got away with. See the fact that he used that elbow to get underneath someone's chin, or just the way that he would just manipulate someone with the forearm. That's illegal. That's not within the rules of the sport.
Well,
it was allowed back then, though. It was allowed back then in the 20s.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it's against the rules.
But I will agree. I will agree. Let me touch on that Ricky Hatton thing. I will agree. The Ricky Hatton fight did kind of piss me off because Ricky Hatton was best at dirty boxing, meaning he's best in the clinch. He's best whenever he's grabbing you and can put you against the ropes and work you right there. My issue with that fight was every time Ricky Hatton got to where he would do the most damage, the referee would step in and separate them immediately. Therefore, Ricky Hatton can never fight the way that he was used to fighting because he was always put at range to play the Mayweather strength. Every time he would get in, tie up, get in the clinch to try to work in the clinch. First off, in boxing, you cannot separate two fighters in the clinch if they're throwing punches because they're working in the clinch. You only separate them when they're stalemated and they're holding. And then sometimes you'll hear the referee say, okay, come on, guys, work out of it. Work out of it means start throwing punches, let go of each other.
Yep.
But in that particular fight, every time Hatton got a hold of Mayweather and was looking to start working that free hand on him, the referee would stand in immediately and separate him. So I will give you that. That was
how do you think the fight would have played out if referee Mills Lanes would have been the fucking ref?
Let's get it on.
He would have been like, punch out of there. Come on, punch out of there. You know what I'm saying? That shit never would have happened. That shit never would have happened.
That's why I always say a nightmare fight for Floyd had they fought back in the days would be Carmen Basilio, because he's just going to swarm Floyd. I mean, what's he going to do? You think he's going to knock out Carmen Basilio with one shot? Hell no. Carmen Basilio was going to maul Floyd Mayweather. Like, maul him.
But I want to touch this before I forget, and this is going to be jumping back topics to what we were just on about talent, right? I wanted to bring this up, and it hit me while we was talking about the Hatton Mayweather. So what I mean by talent is not the same anymore. America especially loses talent to so many different sports. Take Dominic Brazil, for example. He was a quarterback who went to college, but he was nowhere near good enough to make it to the pros. All right, this failed quarterback went to a top level, but that's where he plateaued. Now imagine if it would have been like Russell Williams, who is a professional NFL quarterback, who is at times dominant in the NFL. Imagine if he would have been from day one boxing. He is superior to Brazil in all aspects of genetics. That's what I mean. So instead of seeing a Brazil there, we would have seen a NFL star never be an NFL star in box if this was the 70s. So the talent level is different nowadays.
Okay. I'm just getting on that else reader right now.
I can see that. I can see exactly what you're talking about. Definitely, the talent pool is, but we also got to say, I mean, basically, you're saying the talent pool is low compared to other eras, basically, right?
Right.
Okay, I understand you.
Jedi, I need to bow out. I need to bounce. But
okay.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate that, man.
No problem.
See you guys later.
All right, man. Thank you for joining.
All right, Tommy. See you later, bro.
All right.
Peace, Tommy.
All right, bro.
Mox, what's going on, Mox?
Not much, bro. What's going on with you?
Chilling, bro. Everybody say what's up to the most fucking powerful moderator on fucking YouTube, Mox.
What's up, Mox?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Yeah, so I agree. I agree with what Tony's saying. You know what I mean? It's just the he's absolutely right. You know, and you know what I hate about fucking casuals when they start talking about, oh, but it was a different era. Oh, but it was no, 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 no. These guys could have been even more rougher and tougher because the sport was supposed to evolve. It was their responsibility to evolve the sport into a much harder sport. But for some reason, this sport has become much softer. Now, when you got a motherfucker like Floyd Mayweather who's asking for fucking orthopedic fucking gloves, kid, because he's got bad hands, right? And then he's asking the other fighter to wear them. What the fuck? Like Maidana, that whole shit. He couldn't wear his Cleto Reyes's. I mean, it was just ridiculous, man. And stipulations lead to a factor that motherfuckers are gimmicked in boxing. Look at Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez needs to be held by the hand by judges. It may not be him doing it, but it's Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Showers that are doing it. Insurance policies. This is why motherfuckers have gone so far. You know how many losses Canelo has now, bro? Besides Floyd. Like, we've seen them. You know how many losses Floyd has had? You know how many? I mean, it's just all about the sanctioning bodies, like the WBC, giving Floyd the fucking leeway to be the green belt taker, right? Because we all know that Floyd was the green belt holder, right? And it's just on. It goes on and on there, you know. So there's a lot of gimmicks as well, gimmickry that's going on with some fighters. But like I said, there are some fighters out there that are fighting hard, and those are the ones that we got to respect.
Well, that's why I like Dillian White so much. That's why in the heavyweights, Dillian White is my favorite heavyweight boxer by far.
Right. Dillian White is a very competitive heavyweight. He just did it wrong in the beginning. He did it wrong as soon as he lost to Joshua, he shouldn't have bitched about it months later. He should have just went and gone for fucking Wilder like he's doing now. It's a bit too late, but he could have been putting the pressure on Wilder's neck, and he didn't. And that's what pissed me off about him. This is why the WBC and everyone else is overlooking him, because he's not rightfully claiming what's his.
Hey, can I say something about Dillian White?
Yeah.
You know what I'm starting to notice, like, and these Wilder fanboys that really lost their mind. I see guys like wishing White lose, wishing Anthony Joshua lose, because they want to give that, they want to have that mystique over Wilder. Well, they lost to this person, so that means Wilder could beat them. This is their logic. Like, this is how sad this generation of boxers are, where they don't want to see the actual fighter that they like beat the guy. They'd rather see someone else beat them so they could give them credit for that win.
Yep. Yeah.
It's super sad.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's like these guys don't really want that fight. None of Wilder's fans want this fight because they know what's going to happen. They know that Joshua's skilled. Joshua may have limited head movement, but like I said before, Mike Tyson hardly moved his head. He moved his body with his knees and his waist. So Anthony Joshua moves only with his waist. That's enough head movement, you know, especially for Wilder, who's not really quick. Okay, let's get that myth out the way as well. Wilder's not really that fucking fast. Let's stop it. You know, Joshua's not quick either, but Joshua has great timing. You know, and so
No, Wilder's right hand is quick.
Yeah,
Wilder's right hand is quick.
Wilder's right hand is very fast.
That right hand is very fast. It's extremely quick.
Yeah, that's it.
Still impressed Fury was able to get out of that with the way that shit so many times. Yeah, still impressed.
The thing that scares me about AJ versus Wilder is this. Wilder is most dangerous, and I actually on my channel, I do pre-fight predictions, and the punch that I said would knock out Brazil was the punch that actually knocked him out. But it's that hop step he does. He does like a little jump as he leaps across the ring and comes with the jab followed by the straight. Now, when he does that, he needs a lot of room to be able to do the hop step, is what I call it. Right. And AJ was on a live, and he said he doesn't need to work on head movement, that his offense is his defense, and he likes to fight at range.
Right.
My issue is, if you give Deontay Wilder range, then he can set up them. I mean, he does. That hop step comes fast. He's like a sprinter out of the box when he jumps across the ring. Right. And AJ doesn't have the fastest hands. Right. So if Wilder catches AJ with that, he could definitely put him on his ass. Now, will it knock him out? We don't know. We don't know how resilient AJ is going to be to the punch. But that's why Fury, did so well against Wilder is because he stayed on top of him. And Wilder just was flailing at the arms because he doesn't know how to fight in the inside. Right. That's where Wilder falls apart.
Right. On Rival, anything?
And that's why. I'm sorry, on Rival. Go ahead.
No, that's true. That's very true. But the one thing is, I feel like if you noticed that and I noticed that, Rob McCracken will have noticed that about Wilder. Because Rob McCracken, even though I'm not a big fan of his, he has trained one of the better inside fighters of this era in Carl Froch. Carl Froch, that was his meat and butter, was closing off people. And you would assume that he would, that Josh, I don't know how much to read into Joshua saying that. I feel like Joshua would know he needs to live on Wilder's chest. He can't allow him to have full leverage. He knows that. Because Wilder at full leverage is probably quicker than Joshua. It puts him at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't read into him saying that. I feel like he might be saying that for if they do fight, Wilder will be thinking he has got the space, and then when he's in there, he'll be like, "Oh shit."
Yeah,
There's a possibility of that too.
Because look, just yesterday we had Joshua come out and say to Wilder, "We need to have a sit down." Now, who sounds more ready for this fight to you guys, man? I mean, really, if you're telling the next guy, "Listen, let's have a sit down for this fight already, man." I know. I'm not going to say I think. I know Joshua has the ultimate game plan on embarrassing Deontay Wilder. Meanwhile, Wilder does not have not one fucking clue on how to fight fucking Joshua because he continues to go on these tirades. As to Joshua, you hardly see Joshua because Joshua is thinking. Joshua is training. This is what I'm talking about. Like Mike Tyson, he used to train. Regardless, he was training for his fight. For the opponent he was going to face, he was always training 2 or 3 more fucking fights ahead of time because he knew that's the motherfucker he was going to get. This is what I'm talking about, Joshua. Joshua has got this streak in him and has got this knowledge. As to Wilder, just has the skill, but he's not he's not combining his mind with his skill to a point where he's going to be in the zone, is where I'm getting at. Wilder is not in the zone. Joshua is. Well, Wilder is not in the zone.
It's still a 50-50 fight, though, in my opinion. I mean, at the end of the day, Anthony Joshua got the power. He's got quick hands. I mean, Wilder got the right hand. Let's see what AJ looks like versus
Ruiz.
Let's see what he looks like versus Ruiz, because that's going to be a tough fight, guys.
Ruiz is a very good fighter. Like, a lot of people don't know who he is, but he is so much better than Brazil. It's ridiculous.
I was saying that just the other day, Tony. I was saying that just the other day. I was like, yo, this Andy Ruiz fight is a much better fight for fucking it's a much better fight, much better than the Brazil fight. And Anthony Joshua is going to add on so much to his arsenal after this fight. He's going to learn so much more because Andy Ruiz is no joke. He may look like a manatee dog, but this nigga could fight.
Yeah, he could definitely fight, and he swarms you. He doesn't stop his assault. So if AJ can't hurt him, Ruiz is not going to stop throwing punches from the first round to the 4th round.
Yup. And Ruiz is no joke, bro. Ruiz is fucking tough. I love Ruiz. As a matter of fact, we can all agree that him against Joseph Parker, that was a toss-up.
Yeah, I had Ruiz winning that. I had Ruiz winning that fight.
That's what I'm saying. You can either have Ruiz on it or Parker. The whole point is the Ruiz.
Beating. I had Huey Fury beating Parker too. Like when I watched it twice, but I don't know. Parker really don't do anything for me, and Huey Fury wasn't trying to engage either. It was kind of hard to kind of pick that one.
Yeah, I feel you. I just like Ruiz. I like this fight. I'm happy that Ruiz is the stand-in. And I'm gonna say something right now, man. I don't give a fuck. Fuck baby Gerald Miller. They gave him 6 months suspension. That shit is whack. I think that the sanctioning body should be ashamed of themselves. My man was caught with 3 different types. That should be 6 months each, bro. Fuck that. I
He
don't
should
give
be
a fuck.
banned.
I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care if you don't like me because I'm saying this. That was motherfucking 3 different types of substances. For Christ's sake, son. Don't you think that
Yeah,
deserves some type of penalization?
Well, the
yeah, I
thing
think he
is,
should be banned.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was
I
just
think
gonna
Miller
say,
should be. Oh no, go ahead, Tony. Go ahead, Tony. Go ahead.
my bad. We keep talking at the same time. I was just gonna say the thing with Miller is at his age, you can guarantee you it doesn't matter that he got busted and got this slap on the wrist. At his age, he cannot afford to fight without PEDs because it's guaranteed that he's been using them this entire time. He's already been caught before when he was kickboxing,
Yep.
and now he got caught again years later. So no matter what, I do agree. I think Gerald Miller should have been banned for life because this is his second offense. And you can, at this stage and age in his career, like there's no way he can come off of it and be natural. He just will be non-competitive at this point because he's been on it too long.
Yep. Have to
Yeah.
agree.
I think he should be banned for life because you took 3 different PEDs for 3 different things. You know, one to lose weight, one for agility, and one for muscle growth. He was trying to kill Anthony Joshua. You know what I'm saying? And remember what everybody used to say. Oh my God, I never seen a big guy so agile and he could do this and that. This dude been on PEDs since he started being a professional boxer.
Crazy. Unrivaled. Anything?
Go ahead.
Man, I can only echo sentiments. I can't really add anything on. I really can't. It's pretty much.
Yeah, so you agree. So you basically agree with what we're saying.
Well, yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's kind of obvious, isn't
it? Nah, I feel you, bro. You know, it's very dangerous, man. I mean, look, this is why I'm so pissed off at Ray Boom Boom Mancini. Now, I'm not saying that he was on anything. Not saying that he was on anything when he killed Dooku Kim. But what I'm saying here is when you hear motherfuckers like Wilder, or when you see motherfuckers like Barry Gerald Miller, who just taking advantage of the sport and talk about they want to kill motherfuckers, I think you should be an advocate to step in and talk to these young men and say, hey, listen. This is not a fucking joke. I mean, Boo Boo Mancini supposed to be saying this shit. Where the fuck is he? Oh, I forgot. He's taking a fucking PBC check. Now, those that are going to disagree with me and say, but what does he have to do with anything? Boo Boo Mancini doesn't have to speak up. Yes, the fuck he does. He is a fucking senior. He's looked up to. And if you're going to look at him like, oh, I love your service within the sport of boxing, then his service should include talking to motherfuckers about trying to kill a motherfucker in the ring after he did accidentally. Am I right or wrong here?
No, you're right. You're right.
You're right.
Isn't there a risk, if I may interject?
Go ahead, brother.
Isn't there the risk if you come out and make statements openly that you want to kill a man in the ring, and if you were to make any mistake, like the man goes down to a knee and you clock him and you actually injure him or kill him, couldn't they actually find you like at fault, like possibly you were intending to do it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened. It's happened with that fighter that hit that other fighter after the match. Remember, he broke his jaw. I forgot his name. That scumbag.
Yeah,
he got arrested.
He killed Max Kellerman's brother.
Yeah.
But as far as that goes,
yeah, but that was after the fight. That's when the fight was over.
So here's the thing.
The fight was over.
Here's the thing. If a guy was to kill another guy while he was on his knee, right? He hit him while he was down. The only thing that would happen legally is it could be ruled a DQ, and the guy who died would win the fight. But as far as legal wise, they cannot prosecute him for murder, no matter what he said, because he could just be like, "I was in the heat of the moment. I was in a fight. I lost control, and I beat him." You know, anything can go in the ring. Unless you load your gloves, you cannot be, prosecuted for killing someone.
All right, but I think what Mox is speaking of is if he's on the fucking juice. And he's like Gerald Miller. Oh, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker. And then he got found with 3 different types of substances, and then he hits the dude that's on the knee and kills him. Yeah, he's going to jail. He's going to jail. That's premeditated murder. I mean, you've got it in your system. You've had the intent. You've said it. You know.
No, I think they can't prove it though, because it could be at a heat of the moment thing. It's just like when
Raskla. I'm talking about being dirty. Talking about being dirty in your system as well,
uh,
and then killing a man after
I
saying
don't
that.
know, because I know whenever I used to box, I had to sign waivers saying that if I died in the ring, that there would be no
Yeah.
recourse. So
Right.
I don't think it can happen.
Right.
That's what I was about to say. You have to sign a waiver. I mean, even in Golden Gloves, you have to sign a waiver. So it's you give consent
Wow, that's crazy.
for whatever happens.
That's crazy. And does anybody know if they actually held this meeting with Wilder about him saying that he wanted to kill motherfucker because they came out and said that they was gonna have a meeting with him? Did that ever happen?
Yeah, they did hold the meeting, and that's the reason why Wilder had that fake post-fight interview. What he said, he didn't believe in none of that stuff he was saying. He was told to say that by his PR.
Right.
That's all.
Right. Oh, okay. All right.
That's all. You know, and my thing is this: at the end of the fight, Wilder should have been like, you know what? I want Anthony Joshua next. But that's not what he did. Instead, he said, "Oh, you know, we get paid, we get hurt, and we want to entertain you guys. So we want $300 billion so we can fight each other."
And
That's all.
you know what's the dumbest thing that Wilder? You know what's the dumbest thing that Wilder has ever said? That this is why I would like to piss on his fucking legacy if there's one. He said, and get ready, guys. If you're drinking coffee, if you're drinking anything, put it down because I don't want you to spit on your computer, bro. And everybody in the comment section, it's about that time, lunchtime. If you're working, I don't want you to spit up or choke on your food. But this is the most asinine thing this motherfucker said. He said, people are not supposed to get hit in the head like that. Yeah. Talking about boxing. People are not supposed to get hit in the head like that.
Who said this?
Deontay Wilder.
Motherfucker, go fuck himself.
Yeah. You're not supposed to get hit in the head like that. What the fuck is wrong with you? It's a full contact sport. That's what you're supposed to. That's what you're supposed to do. Hit in the head like that. Put the motherfucker to sleep.
I think he was talking about medically. You're not supposed to be hit in the head. Like the human body, cranium wasn't designed to be hit in the head by punch. I think that's what he was referring to.
Understood. But either way, Tony, it don't look good coming from a heavyweight champion of the world who fucking hits niggas and puts them the fuck to sleep like that either. He's totally contradicted himself with that statement. Don't you agree? Because he said that because he's talking about, oh, why don't you take rough and tough fights? And he came out and said that. Oh, because people are not supposed to get hit in the head like that, but it's okay for you to hit people in the head like that. This is exactly what I'm saying. See? So Wilder is out here selling fuck a wolf ticket. He's selling sheep tickets. You know what I'm saying? He's selling bad tickets. He's selling tickets that make no fucking sense to no fights, bro. You know, and I'm not hating on Wilder, but it's just me as an American fucking fight fan since '84. I have seen the best of them. I have seen the best of fighters become great. I have never seen anybody make excuses the way he's making excuses in the heavyweight division to not fight anybody, bro. That shit is crazy. Have you guys ran into anything like this in the past? If you've watched boxing matches in the past, have you run into something like this? Besides Bo putting the WBC title in the fucking trash can.
Let me say something. And Wilder is the only guy that I've ever heard of is a world champion that calls out a guy he already beat.
He's fighting him twice for no reason.
What fighter have y'all heard of that champion calls out a guy he already beat?
I ain't never heard of shit like that. I'm thinking very hard. Or at least if it had a title behind it, a rematch clause. Like I understand if Ortiz lost the title to Wilder, but he didn't. I understand if Wilder lost the title to him and he didn't.
But that's a different situation. I'm talking about Wilder has already had a fight after Ortiz. And then he comes out.
That's what I'm saying. This shit don't even out. It don't. The iron's not on. The wrinkle's still in the fucking cloth of the greats. What the fuck is going on here? And you're absolutely right.
But it gets funnier. The LWBC is going to be like, look at Wilder's a warrior. He's gonna fight Ortiz again. No one wants to fight Ortiz again. Fucking bullshit, man.
Yo, this fight makes no fucking sense, bro. It should have been White. It should have been.
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not gonna do the whole "it should have been White" thing because it should be Joshua.
That too. But at least, if you were gonna backtrack, at least backtrack to your number one contender, White, right? I mean, I'd rather have.
If you're gonna backtrack, let go of the title.
That too. That right there is the first thing. I agree with you, Unrivaled. Fucking A, bro. A+ for that. I agree with you. If you're gonna backtrack, let go of the fucking title. But at the same time, since he's not letting go of the title, I'd rather had seen, okay, Wilder versus White than motherfucking Wilder versus Ortiz, which we already know that Ortiz this time is gonna get knocked out in the third round. Ortiz is coming to lay down, bro. I'm sorry to tell you guys.
I don't know if it's third round, but I think it's going to be much more conclusive than last time.
You know what I mean?
That's fair. I don't know the round, but it's probably going to be an actual knockout, as opposed to the.
Yep. Now let's go the other way, Unrivaled. Let's go the other way, fellas. Let's just say King Kong Ortiz this time defeats Wilder. What happens? I would like to know about that. What do you think he'll take a Joshua next?
I think there's a rematch clause.
Yeah, right away, definitely.
Which in a weird way would actually make me kind of a little bit happy and sad at the same time, because obviously I want to see undisputed. But if they were to rematch, I mean, some people can argue Ortiz should have won the first fight.
Right.
But he didn't. So
yeah, man. How about you, Tony? If Ortiz wins,
I'm sorry, I stepped away. I'm in the midst of moving, so I'm packing my house in the background. But here's the thing. I just want to touch on this real fast. I don't know why people are so surprised that Wilder is fighting Ortiz and why all these channels have put up that Ortiz Wilder 2 is happening. When Shelly Finkel said in the press conference that people listen, the road to Wilder is Ortiz, then Kaunacki, then Fury. So I'm not understanding why people are so surprised that this fight is happening when they already told you it was happening when they were asking, well, are you going to fight AJ? So
I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know that Finkel said that.
Bro,
wow, that's to me.
To tell you the truth, and I understand I'm on your channel, Boxing Jedi, but if you go to my channel and look right after the fight happened, you can see that I announced this like a week and a half ago when he fought Brazil. Like I already said the route that he was taking because they said it in the press conference. It's just people were listening. But to answer the question, if Ortiz beats Wilder, it really means nothing because you got people who are brainwashed like the LDBC who believe that Ortiz is the boogeyman of the division. So it will just solidify that fake belief when Ortiz has beaten nobody but Brian Jennings. That's the only legit win he has on his record. Other than that, Ortiz is beaten up with a bunch of bums. He fought Christian Hammer, who's a B-level boxer, and looked horrible. And
struggled against him.
Yeah. Like Ortiz is not a boogeyman. He's not good. Ortiz has been running from AJ for so long. Like, check this out. Before AJ to fight Gerald Miller, Ortiz was quiet. He didn't come out till after he had signed the contract to fight Christian Hammer and knew that AJ had signed the contract to fight Miller, talking about, oh, I want to fight AJ. I'll fight AJ anytime with no notice. Then the Miller thing happens to where now Miller can't fight anymore because of PEDs. AJ comes out, okay, let's get Ortiz. Ortiz is all this back and forth talking about, oh, it's AJ's fault. Then Herb was like, okay, we're going to release how much money we offered them. We're going to release everything that was said. Then Ortiz comes out, oh, no, it was our fault. It was our promoter wanting too much money. Then Now they have backtracked again after the Ruiz fight was announced. Talking about, oh no, it's AJ's fault.
Ugh.
You don't want to fight him. Ortiz is scared of AJ just like Wilder is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the thing that I hate most about like people like the LDBC is they're like, well, why can't you support the American? AJ's the Brit. AJ's the Brit. You support an American. You're American. My thing is this: I don't support you where you're from. I support you off the merit of your work. And
Right.
I'm not impressed with Wilder's work.
Well
Yeah.
said. Well said.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
I was going to say that too. I don't root for a person just because they're from the United States. I like who I want to like. I don't. And first of all, this is the last country that I want to back up anyway. Let me get that out the way. I mean, these guys talk about, oh, we got to back out the American fighter. Damn, I don't even remember the United States throughout history being good to black people. So why the fuck should I root for an American fighter anyway? But that's a whole nother topic. I like who I want to like. I like who the fuck I want to like. And if I like AJ better than Wilder, that's my fucking opinion. And it don't matter. They call me a coon. I've been called a coon. I've been called all types of names because I like Anthony Joshua. I never said I hated Wilder though. I like watching Wilder, but I like Anthony Joshua better. I like his work ethic better. I like his attitude better. I like his personality better. That's why he has a bigger fan base than Wilder. Period.
Right.
Well, the thing that I find funny about that whole calling somebody a coon and this, it's only somebody's a coon when it's beneficial to the narrative. So in other words, whenever Andre Ward was talking about Wilder wasn't that good of a fighter, technically, everybody said, oh, well, he's half white. His opinion doesn't matter. He's not even black. But before he made that comment, every person in like the LDB side, I'll call him that, were supporting SOG, talking about, oh, he's the greatest boxer ever. But then because he made one comment they don't like, now he's a coon, now he's mixed, now he's biracial, now he's not even biracial, he's white. That's why.
And what's funny, what's funny, my bad, real fast, Ross Cloud, what's funny about the word coon, let's go into history with that word coon. See, the word coon was made by the KKK, right? And they passed it down to the black man so that way they can call themselves coon. You see? So these guys are so much fighting against white supremacy, like they say, but they're being racist and black supremacists themselves. So when they call themselves, I was even called a coon, and it's the wrong race. But you know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous, bro. These guys are fucking dick breath having motherfuckers. My bad, Roz.
And you know, another thing, I want to touch back on what Tony was saying. I remember them saying that about Ward. He was the greatest this and greatest that. It's like when you watch Ward, and I'm a Ward fan just because he's from the hometown. But when you watch Ward fight, I mean, he headbutt Mikhail Kessler 50 fucking times. Like, come on, dude. Like, this ain't no super great, talented ass fucking. Like, he's fucking cheating in some of these fights. Like, let's be real here. He hit punk ass Kovalev. I don't like Kovalev. He's a punk, but he hit Kovalev in the balls fucking 12 times. Like, come on, dude. No, let's not put Ward on a pedestal. And then as soon as Ward betrayed him, now he's a coon. That's some bullshit.
Yeah. You're gonna find that within their ranks because that's just the way they are. Look what they did to Floyd Mayweather Jr. after they were all fucking nut riding him, and then just because he said all lives matter, which is like, you know, the most humane thing to say because it makes sense. These motherfuckers ousted him. You know.
Yeah. Well, Floyd's a bitch. But that's another topic.
You know, it is what it is, man. I'm just glad that you guys got your head on your shoulders. You know, you're boxing. I'm thank you to everybody that has joined us in the chat and those that have stood on with us. You know what I mean? Thanks to Unrivaled. Thanks to Tony. Thanks to my man Tommy Temper. Thanks to Ross Clot 222. No doubt, man. You guys rock. Everybody.
Hey, Kato, real quick, thanks for having me on. Thanks, y'all. And Kato, we know we got to do this more often, man. You know, I've been trying to get on with you.
Hey, I'll tell you right now, man, a little later, if I decide to have a little bit of hangouts and shit, I'll send out some invites to the same panel.
I'm just going to the gym. I ain't got nothing to do today. I'm going to the gym, and I'm a chill. It's my daughter's birthday.
So you know what, Ross Clot? It's a long time overdue, man. When you get out the gym, message me so I can send you a link, and me and you will start some shit.
Yeah, for sure. Peace,
all right,
Tony.
my brother. Yeah.
All right.
And
all y'all.
Tony,
Right?
no doubt. And Tony, Unrivaled, my friends, and Tommy Temper as well, man. You guys rock. You guys are awesome. You guys are the official tissue. You know what I mean? God bless you guys. And you know, hey, send me an invite whenever you guys have a fucking hangout. You know what I mean? Much love to you guys, man. Thank you for being on the panel, fellas.
Peace.
Tony, thank you,
Much
my brother.
appreciated, man.
No doubt. And Unrivaled, thank you so much, Unrivaled, man. You're the man, bro. Thank you. Peace to Ireland, no doubt, man. Peace to fucking England. Peace to everybody cross yonder, cross waters. You're still my brothers and sisters. And hashtag come back to boxing, baby. Let's keep it all boxing. One love, everybody.